I told him, when he was scrapping at the. I hope it was Michael Scott, because that's what he told me his name was, but people were asking me questions, and he walked by and said, "Don't believe a word that says." And I just said, "Oh, hey, Michael, it's good to hear you. You want to get involved in this conversation, or do you want to let people know your mother has a restraining order against you?"
Oh, nice.
Hey, buddy.
Don't forget Joe Eby.
Come on now, get that. I'm going to have to get 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. You got to work that eyelid. It's still a little droopy now.
See? See? All right, that's it.
Sam gets an award today.
Yep, Samantha. Yeah. Are we good to go? There's, so I haven't seen,
Well, there's not as many people here as I thought, so that's good.
Rick, would you take my gun for me? I'm just teasing. He's so helpful, I thought maybe.
I used to do that with my kids. I'd reach in there and like, give me that.
Oh.
They'd be ready to
No,
splatter.
no, yeah, you go, give me that gun, and they go,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I'll just reach in there and grab it. So there you go.
They're all SBA.
Yeah, they're putting on the weekend. Thursday. Yeah, because we keep getting emails.
I never heard anything on that. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming to the Village of Ruidoso regular meeting. It's August 12th. It's 1 p.m. And if you will join with me and stand for a moment of silence, and then the Pledge of Allegiance, and then the salute to the New Mexico flag. Pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the Zia symbol of perfect friendships among united cultures.
All right. Can I get a roll call, please, ma'am?
Mayor Crawford.
Here.
Councilor Eby.
Here.
Councilor Letterman.
Here.
Councilor Salas.
Here.
Councilor Hooker.
Here.
Councilor Corey.
Here.
Councilor Jackson is absent. Mayor, you have a quorum.
All right. Thank you very much, Jenny. Can I get a motion for the approval of today's agenda, giving the chair the ability to move the agenda around, please?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the regular consent items and the agenda, giving you the ability to move things around as needed. And I also want to remove consent item number 9, approval of assessment of lease agreement for hangar P-14 at Sierra Blanca Regional Airport.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please, ma'am.
Councilor Hooker.
Aye.
Councilor Corey.
Aye.
Councilor Salas.
Aye.
Councilor Letterman.
Aye.
Councilor Eby.
All right, thank you very much. We have some blue shirts in the crowd today. And so I'm going to go ahead and move these guys up so we can hear a little presentation from them. It's the SBA. They have different programs and things that we're working with our local citizens, banks, and businesses. So if you guys want to come on up, Justin, Murphy, her real name's not Murphy, but every car she rents breaks down. So, and Michelle, Dante, are you coming? Anybody? Dante's our local contact, and I'll let Justin and these guys talk about everything that they've got, and because I know they've got a big contingency over at the DRC, and so I wanted to get these guys the ability to speak, and then they can get on with their business.
All right, I think that works, huh?
You're good to
All
go.
right, thank you. Mr. Mayor, I appreciate your taking time out of your day this morning to meet with us over at the annex. Members of the council, thank you very much for allowing us the opportunity to speak with you this morning. My name is Justin Crossy. I am the Regional Administrator for the South Central Region of the Small Business Administration. That encompasses Louisiana, Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma, and the great state of New Mexico. I am out here today following up on the President's promise to support the recovery from the floods that y'all have endured. In addition to the flooding, there are many things going on that are impacting your local community, your small businesses, your homeowners. And what I would say is please don't allow the business part of SBA to throw off what it is that we do in a disaster. We are the largest lender of funds in disaster recovery. We can help support small businesses. We can help support homeowners and home renters. There is a ton of information to go over, and I won't bore you with all of those details right now. But what I would like to say is that if you have constituents, whether they are, again, homeowners, renters, or small businesses that are struggling and looking for solutions in the wake of these devastating floods, I would encourage you to send them over to, and I'll get it right here, the ENM Annex by the Albertsons. So we have a disaster recovery center over there where we are able to help individuals walk through the different programs and processes that SBA offers for recovery assistance. In addition to the Disaster Recovery Center, while they're still in the same footprint, we have a Business Recovery Center. These are SBA experts that can sit down and meet with those constituents and help navigate the programs that we have available for disaster recovery. Oftentimes people are like, well, just go to sba.gov. You can learn about all our programs there. And what I would say is it is my experience, having been through Katrina, Ike, Gustav, just a laundry list of hurricanes being from southeast Louisiana. I know that in the recovery, there are a lot of people that are in shock over what's just happened. And they might be looking at these programs and just say, oh, it doesn't apply to me, and move on. I would encourage you to ask those individuals to go by the Disaster Recovery Center and to meet one-on-one with the counselor to find out if they are available, right? I can't tell you how many times I've looked at something and said, oh, I'm not eligible for that, or oh, that doesn't fit for me. But when somebody's explained what that program is, all of a sudden there's a way for me to avail myself of that. So again, I would just like to encourage you, if you have those constituents coming to you asking about the recovery, that you encourage them to go over there to the Disaster Recovery Center and sit down and meet with one of our counselors. Again, I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I appreciate your flexibility. I think it was just this morning that I was like, hey, I'd like to come talk to y'all. So again, I appreciate that. I don't know whether we have any questions. Again, I don't want to burn tons of time.
Well, we got a banker over here, so you know, one banker, and Shamir over here, we did a Zoom with him a few weeks ago, I guess it was, and so he's a banker too, recovering. So we have one down here. So go ahead, Councilor Corey.
I've had a couple of business people ask me about the fact that these are loans, and granted, I was shocked at how low the interest rates are. But are there any programs that offer loan forgiveness after a period of time?
I'm going to defer to the longtime expert. My initial is no.
Okay.
And Mr. Cross is correct. By statute, we don't have the statutory power to forgive. So the short answer is no. There is a way for folks who are enduring hardship to seek such. So more than glad to talk with you offline to
So that'd
facilitate
be
that.
case by case?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Because we are the largest source of funds for privately damaged properties, right? And even though we have the name business in our name, 80% of my loans are to homeowners and renters. Okay? And first of all, before I talk shop, let me extend my most sincere, profound loss to all of you in the community, because it's a huge loss. And so my condolences, prayers with you and your family. Sir, you have been an amazing leader. I've enjoyed time with you, sir, and your dedication to the community and the people that I've had the pleasure of meeting through you is second to none. So you folks have a great leader in the form of Mr. Crawford at the helm. So thank you for your leadership, thank you for your partnership, and my team is here to support you in any way they can. You have my number, you have Mr. Crossey's number, and between the two of us, I'm sure we can do what we need to bring the assistance to the good people of Reduso. So my hat's off to you, sir, for your great work.
Thank you. Does anybody have any other questions? Alan is going to be our, are you Alan? I was calling you Murphy all the time, so I didn't know her real name. She'll be tomorrow morning. We have that meeting at ENMU with the county and tribal, and everybody's kicking back off. So I've invited her to be. What's tomorrow?
Wednesday.
Wednesday, so Thursday morning.
Thursday, I'm sorry.
Mayor,
Yeah, absolutely.
So folks, 2.81% fixed for 30 years, no payments for 1 year. I mean, that's fixed interest rates. If you were to go out and get mortgage money today, you're talking 6 3/4 to low 7s. That's new money. Relocation is part of our program. Please come talk to us. There's conversations about buyouts and those things, and Mr. Crawford knows my position on it, but come talk to us. On the business side, it's 4% fixed. Now, you know you're a banker. In my banking days, 4% money didn't exist. And for private nonprofits that are non-essential in nature, outside of the city, that's 3.625% fixed for 30 years. So hypothetically, Mr. Corey, if you had a business and you're making your payroll, your inventory payments, you could combine that into one and not make a payment for another year. Literally, that's cash flow that you can put in the bank. Whatever you are getting, beleaguered as it might be, you can put it in the bank. Number two, you mentioned, sir, something about September, where the second or the largest event takes place. Well, unfortunately, because it's not taking place, that is actually a shock to the system. Your revenue system, correct? You can ask for offsetting expenses that you otherwise would have paid, but you can't pay now. So don't let society unnecessarily have to be in harm's way as a result of not applying. Please encourage them. Come talk to us. You don't lose anything. And we've got very competent, capable people who want to see the community succeed. It's really about serving the community. That's what I love what I do. I got out of banking to do this. So thank you.
Mayor?
Thank you for
Yes,
the
go ahead,
clarification.
Councilor Letterman.
Hi. I was just wondering, so does this affect, like our Midtown that truly was not affected, but they have lost revenue? Does that include them as well?
There you go.
Need the magic touch. Excellent question, spot on. The economic injury disaster loan is intended to address supply chain aftershocks. One man's bill is another man's revenue. If you can't pay a bill, he's hurting, he's hurting, he's hurting. So suddenly, the multiplier effect of our assistance to you, Madam Luderman, 3 other people have benefited from it. So please encourage, and my PIOs are here, they'll be more than glad to talk to you about it offline, but that's exactly what we're trying to mitigate. It's a supply chain effect. The ones that have been affected, hey, I got washed away, I can't do anything, but what about their accounts payable? Those accounts payable is somebody else's accounts receivable. And it's a trickle-down effect, and we want to take care of those.
Thank you.
Excellent question.
Go ahead.
how long are y'all gonna be in Ruidoso for?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Excellent question again. I'll say this for one reason. That depends on the state of Mexico, the state of New Mexico,
okay.
okay? We're here because the state of New Mexico requested our services as part of our declaration process. They asked for FEMA's assistance, which is grants-based, and our assistance in the form of loans, because we are the largest source of funds. FEMA's role is safe, secure, sanitary condition. So they want to see traffic coming through
ENMU.
Thank you. I think of emu with the N.
No, so,
Geico, right? Emu.
Yeah,
right? Or is it
Eastern New
progressive?
Mexico
Yeah.
University.
So So traffic matters. Using of our service matters. That drives traffic. That drives the determination. So more people come in, more people ask for it, the longer we're here. So we need your stewardship to assist the community because all disasters are local. So we need you, Mr. Salas, to say, hey, I know you've been sitting on, you know what, for a couple of months now and they haven't got to see FEMA or SBA. What are you waiting for? Same thing with you, Ms. Luderman. Hey, that business owner, you know, I know you were impacted, you haven't done anything. Why don't you go talk to the center? And vice versa. So your stewardship and making sure the folks are driven into the center, literally driven or inspirationally, makes a big difference.
And we had a meeting the other day, we had most all the local bankers, I think all of them were there but one. And then their management out of other communities were all online listening to this, so we just need to get real active. Does anybody else have any questions or comments? What? Okay, we have a presentation, but I'll go ahead and take it. So go ahead.
For you, you said that there might be a possibility of some loan forgiveness for some case-by-case issues.
No forgiveness, zero forgiveness. But on a case-by-case basis, hardship accommodation, relief from making those payments.
Okay, I didn't write that down.
But no forgiveness, none.
Would that apply to the small businesses that didn't burn, didn't flood, but have economic damage?
Come talk to my people. They're at the centers, and we'll get into details without me taking up everybody else's.
But yeah, that's what we want to do. These guys are going to be in the community. We're getting with RMA, the Ruidoso Midtown Association. We'll get with Deborah over at the chamber, and so that they can get access to the businesses. And then over here at the DRC, which is at ENMU in the annex, you can go in and they've got a team of people that'll wait on them.
Allie, A-L-L-I-E, Cassim is the first name.
Okay, anybody else? Thank you, guys. I'll let you get back to work.
Thank you. Appreciate
And we'll do
y'all.
our best to
Appreciate your time.
get this out there to people. And we just want to remind everybody, thank you, Shamir. Xterra is getting ready to start kicking off, and so we're looking forward to that. We've had people in the community for the last 2 months, see you, Dante, that have been practicing and getting acclimated. So, you know, we're hoping that we are going to be able to have a big event. So just for those that don't know, school let out a while ago with the, I don't want to call it impending, let's say forecasted rain.
Yeah.
So they went ahead and dismissed class. So schools are out for now, and we will move on. Because last council meeting, y'all remember what happened?
Oh, yeah.
Sir.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. So let's go to consent regular items. Item number 1, approval of governing body minutes, July 8th, 2025, regular meeting, July 24th, 2025, special meeting, July 29th, 2025, special meeting, August 5th, 2025 workshop meeting. Number 2, approval of certificate of records destruction number 2025-03. Item number 3, approval of request of schedule a public hearing for September the 9th, 2025 for consideration of a restaurant B beer, wine, and spirits liquor license with premises consumption only with patio service for the Grill Caliente located at 2800 Sutter Drive, Ruidoso, New Mexico. Item number 4, approval of request to schedule a public hearing for September 9th, 2025 for consideration of a small brewer offsite location liquor license for Lost Hiker Brewing Company located at 2356 Sutter Drive, Ruidoso, New Mexico. We're real proud of that. The businesses have sold and somebody's keeping that business open, and that's really awesome. Let me see, we'll have item number 5, approval of request to schedule a public hearing for September 9th, 2025 for consideration of ordinance 2025-05, an ordinance authorizing the execution and delivery of a loan agreement and intercept agreement by and between the Village of Ruidoso and the New Mexico Finance Authority in the amount of $1,502,424.00, together with interest thereon for the purpose of purchasing 2 Class A pumper fire trucks, and authorizing the taking of actions in connection with the execution and delivery of the loan agreement and the intercept agreement. You crammed everything possible in that one, so good job. Item number 6, approval on adoption of Resolution 2025-27, a resolution approving an agreement setting forth the terms and conditions of active membership with the Southeastern New Mexico Economic Development District Council of Governments in the amount of $2,450. Item number 7, approval of award of RFP number 2025-012P to Able City LLC for comprehensive master planning and economic analysis services. Item number 8, approval of small government enterprise agreement with Environmental Systems Research Institute, ESR, in the amount not to exceed $30,200 per year for a 3-year term for a total amount of $90,600, including New Mexico GRT.
Mayor, I move to approve consent regular items as read.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please, ma'am.
Counselor Solis?
Aye.
Counselor Hooker?
Aye.
Counselor Corey?
Aye.
Counselor Letterman?
Aye.
Counselor Eby?
Okay, thank you very much, and so everybody knew what that sound meant.
Deja vu all over again.
Yep. And I didn't recognize Amanda without her uniform on. Good to see you, Amanda. Next to her is Richard Colthart. Yeah. He's a journalism professor at New Mexico State University and also does some work with the El Rito newspaper. So I know y'all are all wondering who's the guy. So that's the guy. So, okay, thank you very much. Now we'll go to public input. It's limited to just the first hour. We have rules. Mayor Pro Tem, would you like to explain the rules?
I'll go over the basic rules. Keep it clean in talking. You got 5 minutes to present your name, your address, and your topic. And also, we just ask of being courteous of the employees, the elected officials, or any other, no bashing your neighbor at this public forum.
Okay, thank you very much. First up is Tootie Stone. Hi, Tootie. And you come right there and press that little button and it should turn up green.
Thank you for letting me speak.
Oh, you
And
bet.
I'm here for my neighbors because I love them.
Okay, see if you can get that. Is it green?
It says, it looks green.
Okay.
Pull it closer so
Yeah, to speak into it so the millions around the world on the internet can hear you.
And Tucci, I'll give you a 2-minute warning when
Okay.
you're coming up to your 5 minutes.
Okay. Well, first off, thank you. Thank you for being here and, as I understand it, being on top of things about Upper Canyon. I'm Tootie Stone. I live at 110 Metate Avenue, right across from number 3 fire station. So I'm the first mile from the circle, past the first bridge. And I moved here in 2018 and love it. The issues that I'll mention, if those could be included in the agenda, or they may already be, so that would help us on time too.
Mayor. I think what Ms. Stone is referring to, Ron, is if some of her questions can be answered during the manager's report.
Okay.
Well, we can, Mayor, we can work on that.
Yeah, we can see what we can get done.
Okay. I live in the middle of a block. I'm surrounded by those beautiful old cabins. And since the floods and fire last year, the property owners have been getting together. We have music, potluck, homemade ice cream, and it's a good old neighborhood feel. And I am so worried about my friends and neighbors that own the cabins all around me, because if they had any cushion, they used it last year. And they're so upset and so worried about being closed down because how are they, with economic damage, economic loss. And so the first question is, what about Xterra? They have all, that's only a few days away, as I understand it, and they have bookings. Are they going to be able to open? Are all those people that are scheduled to to stay in Upper Canyon, are they going to have to be sent somewhere else? And all that revenue lost once again. So the first question I have is will Upper Canyon be open for the weekend in Xterra? And if you'd like, I've got like 3 or 4 points if you want me to do them all, and
That's
then you
what we're
answer.
going to do, but
We can't
this
answer.
is in a dialogue, and we'll try to answer those, because we've answered all these questions before on the radio and on our website and everything else, but we'll cover them again.
Well, I talked to some of the property owners this morning, and that's where I got my questions.
Right?
Okay. So, I'm having trouble reading my own writing. And then the coming weekends, if they're not going to be open this coming weekend, will they be open the weekends after that? The water was turned off in our neighborhood, I'm not sure beyond that, a week before the floods. And then that's when their losses started. And then came the floods. And then right before the 7th of August, the water was just turned back on again. So if there was a pipe in between the first and second bridge, those pipes were not repaired, how did the water come back on again? That's my personal question that didn't make sense to me, so I hope that's answered. And another question is just where you've got EPA, as I understand it, has the crews working. Are they some of the rumordoso that's been going around is that they were going to start at the circle and go up to the first, or start at the first bridge and go up to the second bridge as the first repairs. And that's not happening, and we wonder, we're wondering if they're starting at the second bridge and going up to the res, because then that's going to be even more time. So some clarity on that would be we'd all be grateful. And about funds that are earmarked for the economic loss of the small businesses. The gentleman mentioned, or someone mentioned Midtown, because they're affected. I talked to someone yesterday with a business really close to Upper Canyon, and when the announcement was that Upper Canyon was going to close, the next day their business dropped 60%. And I just met them and my heart broke just to hear that. So the other question would be, what funds are earmarked for the small businesses with economic loss? Because if they go under, they hurt all of us. Me as a homeowner, however, if we love the community, we don't want these small businesses to go under. And and the small business loans, that's debt on top of debt. And I know the rules in paying it back in 6 months and limited amounts, all that was last year. It sounds like it's a new ball game. But if people are already barely above water and they get more debt, even if it's put off a year, it's taken over a year to bounce back, and they didn't actually get a chance to bounce back.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mrs. Stone, that's your time.
Okay, thank you so much.
You bet. Thank you very much. Mr. Bill Hall?
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Yeah, it does look like it's gonna rain today, but anyway, as I said, of all the questions and, the things with Rumoredoso and all that, just listen to Monday Morning with the mayor, please, people. I mean, that's my personal plea for that. I see it all the time on social media. But one of the other things too, listening to that show, almost every week, and I'll catch the podcast, one of the things that became immediately apparent, and I know y'all struggle with it, and the residents struggle with it, is understanding the process of two things. And this goes back to, civics, like how does a bill work? But people really struggle with how does a grant work? And how do we get through FEMA? How does that work? And one of the things I was thinking of, and I will offer to help out Ron or Mike or anybody here, is what you really need somewhere on the village website is a simple one-page visual graphic. This is how a grant goes, a flow chart, if you may, that has, here's the different milestones, here's how it flows, one-page graphic. FEMA might take 2 pages, but that's the understanding, because when you go and you take that time every Monday and you're explaining things and where we are in the process, having that overview of, hey, we're at point B on this flow chart, that would help people understand. Because as I said, it really is the people who genuinely don't know is they don't understand the process for one, and then how the money actually flows. And I think doing some type of that flow chart would be more than able to explain it. I mean, just a one-page graphic so that people can refer to it, and you can refer to it as you go through and say, hey, Project B and FEMA subclass is here, and that people will be able to do that. I haven't found that. I've found similar resources online, but like I said, I'll offer to help out Ron or Michael or anybody to do it. I mean, I spent a career convincing managers to spend millions of dollars on projects. I can spend time trying to help people understand what goes on here, because we are talking about millions of dollars, and it's going to take time. So I'll offer that to you as my just free service to do that, but having some type of flow chart that shows that overall graphic is important. And of course, the other thing, I'll make the same pitch that you heard last month about disc golf and having Lodgers Tax Committee seriously look at investing and building 2 more courses. We know next year we're going to have Xterra here for the World Championships. If you're proactive about the disc golf, and granted to Ron and Matt's, ability to get grants. Grants are fickle. We know that. It's all related to the legislature. Here's something you can do proactive. You could become the center for, hey, we're the World Championships for Xterra. Hey, we're the World Championships for disc golf. Well, why not then the World Championships for Ironman? I'm just thinking outside of the box, but encouraging, have an opportunity to be proactive. And I just encourage you with your relationships with people on Lodgers Tax. I'll appeal to them directly, but they don't have meetings on the same regularity that you all have here. But that's something that could be very good for the village, very good for families. It's a good activity. It's an outdoor activity, something that we could all be proud of. And that's it.
All right.
Thanks, Rifle.
Thank you, Bill. We'll do mayoral reports and presentations. Presentation of new employees. And this is always a favorite time of mine, because and I want to say hi to Ashley. I just saw you sitting back there. It's okay if I point you out. Senator Heinrich's aide, right? Yeah. So anyway, thank you for coming. She's been very helpful. New employees in forestry maintenance, Raymond Torres.
There he is.
There he is. Hello, Raymond.
Go.
We're glad to have you. Are you new to town? From? Oh, you're nearly here. I don't know if you know this, but I would say half of our staff is from Tularosa. So we're glad to have you, and you work for a really good guy that knows a lot about what he's doing. So thank you very much, Raymond.
Yeah, thank
Hopefully you make it a long time with the village. Constance Tucker, Water Resource Director. Connie, there she is. Hello, Connie. And tell everybody where you came from, Connie. I know you've been here almost a month, or a month. Yeah.
We're half the town seems to have a second home here.
Yep.
So, yeah, as water service, or water manager for the Brazos River Authority for Lake Granbury.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah,
We're
thank
glad to have you.
Welcome.
David Eloy Klein, Convention Center Maintenance. Attaboy, awesome. Well, they're tickled to have you. I know that for sure. So, are you new to town?
Well, I've been here about a year, I guess.
Okay, excellent. Well, you got a good group over there, Luis and David, of course Bernadine, and now they got Amber.
I know.
So,
What?
yeah, it's a whole nother story.
That's not approved.
That's
I didn't
another story.
approve that.
Well, we appreciate you being here. Hopefully you enjoy your time with the village. Thank you.
Welcome.
Now we have promotions. Jeremy Brown, interim water distribution supervisor. I saw Jeremy, there he is. Thank you, he does a great job. He doesn't talk a whole lot. Okay, well, you're doing a great job. Thank you. No, with all the hard work, and I've been out a couple of times on these jobs to see these folks, and we're going to give an award to one here later that really do the hard stuff. It's either cold usually or hot, but it's almost always wet. And so you guys do a great job, and I appreciate it. Larissa Aparicio? Aparicio, are you kidding me? All this time and I didn't know how to pronounce that? That's embarrassing. Utility billing clerk 2.
Oh, nice.
Say it again. All this time I never knew.
Aparicio.
Aparicio. Okay, congratulations. And I'll tell you, she does a great job. You know, people haven't been really happy with what's gone on in the village, you know, coming in and the frustration that people feel. And the village honestly does the very best that we can do. We didn't start the fires or the floods or any of those things, and we're trying to work through this. A lot of people come in and they're upset, and she has to handle a lot of that, the folks up front. So I appreciate your training, your patience, and everything. You guys do an awesome job.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Alex Akins, Youth and Adult Sports Coordinator. There you go. Alex. You've been with us a while.
Yes, sir. Since I was a lifeguard at 21.
That's where it's at, yes. Well, congratulations. We'd like to moving up. Well, hopefully you're here for a long time. Thank you for coming to work.
Good job, Alex.
And then Amber transfers to the Convention Center Administrative Assistant, working, and I know they need you bad over there. So while I know that she's very happy to get you, I know that
Anthony.
I don't see him. He was here a while ago.
He's over there.
Yeah, he's a little upset. So, and we're gonna have a big shot coming in, I think tomorrow or the next day with the Trump administration. I'm gonna bring him by there and we're gonna have a discussion about different things that might affect some of the grants that come in. So thank you, and I know you'll do a great job over there.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And then we'll do a presentation of employees and department of the quarter. The employees for quarter 2 in administration is Joanna Quintana.
Yay!
Okay, well, does somebody got a camera? You gonna take her a picture? So congratulations, thanks for everything that you do. You got it? Okay, thank you.
Congratulations.
Yes, Joanna.
Good job. Thank you very much, I appreciate you. You wanna say anything?
Oh, congratulations.
You wanna say anything, John? No. Are you sure? This is your shot. This is my shot. And would you like to take Myers' spot up, because he'll talk. Thank you very much. Community service, David Myers. Come on down. This is a busy guy. We always appreciate your word of the the month, I think it is, or week. Yeah, I tell you, I read it every month.
Yeah, see?
Congratulations, Dave. Appreciate you and everything that you do. You got his picture?
Okay.
Thank you. You want to say something?
I have to go to work.
Oh, okay.
Get to work.
I should have got you out of here earlier. Dave does a ton of work, and, with all the building and everything that goes on, we've had Dave do other additional things, inspecting homes and whatnot, so we appreciate his willingness to always get involved and do extra things. So thank you, Dave. Public safety, Justin Mize. Attaboy. Justin was part of our Swiftwater Rescue Team, did a great job. You had a great picture, by the way. Can you pose for us again? He did a great job. Thank you very much for everything you should do, my friend. Thank you.
Good job, good job.
Public Works, Samantha Mars. Thank you, Sam. She does a lot of hard work. Usually she's surrounded by a bunch of hairy legs, but she does a good job. She holds her own. I've been out on the jobs many times and watch, and sometimes up close, out of the way, but she does a great job. So thank you very much.
Way to go,
Appreciate it.
Sam.
Excellent work, Sam. Good job.
All right, Alex, community development, you gonna bring them up? And Stephanie, there she is. When I ask Alex, he always says, let me ask Stephanie.
That's what I have staff for.
So congratulations, where's the,
Oh, there it is.
Here, you can hold that one.
All right.
Get all your group up here. There you go, Stephanie. This department, so once you go through and introduce what everybody does.
All right. Do I need a microphone or?
Yeah, you go right here.
All right, thanks, sir. Okay, I'll start from my right side. We've got Jim Kinzer. He is a multidisciplinary builder inspector. Brian Parker, our newest team member. He is our short-term rental inspector. Dave Myers is our building official. Stephanie Warren, in here to my right, she is planner GIS coordinator. Britta Magnuson, to my left, is our administrative assistant. Then we have Chrysanthi Jones, that she is, her full-time job is short-term administrative assistant, short-term rental administrative assistant, but she's also the right-hand woman for the EOC. She's the EOC coordinator. And then lastly, we have Mark Coker. He is another multidisciplinary building inspector, but also our certified floodplain manager.
All right. Congratulations.
All right, thank you, guys. All right, thank you, Alex.
Congratulations.
And Alex has been here just 1 year and a couple of weeks. Yeah, we did a bunch of interviews and we got Alex to come in from Texas, and he hadn't accepted the job and we had the fire, and he still took the job. So we appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all a lot.
Bye.
That's our firefighters and our Swiftwater Rescue Team, which is over 60 folks that have been pulled from the water, from hanging on trees and other things. And so we really appreciate what those guys have done, and the council for you guys investing in the equipment and the training. So it was a great job. So, but anyway, that gives you a little snippet of just the quality of employees that we have. And I can tell you, just dealing with the folks around the state, they're not as fortunate as we are. And I know we work really hard. The council works really hard to do everything that you can do to make sure that we attract, maintain, keep, and reward employees. And so thank you guys so much for everything that you do. You're not replaceable. Uh-oh. The big shot himself. I mean, let me get my hat on right quick. I just want to make sure.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody see Big Steve walk in over here? This is Steve Andrus with Xterra. And since I'm still on, this perfect timing, really. Would you like to come up here right quick and give us a little lowdown? And absolutely. He never passes up a microphone.
I don't pass up or Eddie?
You don't. Come on.
Eddie.
Come on down. And who do you have? Oh, you,
Kostas, he's my colleague from,
Yes.
from Greece.
oh, Greece. Well, we're glad to have you.
Hey, welcome.
So those of you that don't know, this is Steve Andrus. He's got a big new title. What is it now?
Steve Andrus, the Grand Poobah.
Yeah, Cranboot. That's right. Yeah, I don't know where you got that one.
I don't know, but it was thrown at me yesterday during the radio interview.
Yeah,
so-
that's right.
Yeah.
So we're getting ready for your event. I know we got a rain day today, and but you guys, you've looked over everything, and we feel good about it.
Yeah, we feel really good about things, and I just want to say thank you to the community. Thank you for everybody that's been part of bringing this to fruition, and it's been a long road, and here we are. We're ready for it. Very grateful for the support we've received from all, entities from the municipality, from Parks and Rec to the EMS teams to everybody that's out there, Forest Service. It's been a great collaboration. We're super excited to get this going. It's happening just in a couple days. It's coming together. Please come take a look up there, and you guys will be proud. So we're looking forward to it. So
Yeah, and you even got some special help from the newspaper. I mean, just a little email support.
yeah, just a little bit, but I was happy to.
It's an inside joke, so.
Yes, it is.
Must be.
Yes. No, we're excited. Kostas is here from Greece. He's my colleague from the MEA or Europe Division. He's here to support and then get ready to really where our sights are for the World Championships next year. And we're looking forward to, we've already started bringing the world here, but we're really going to start showcasing the world to Rio. So happy to.
Well, and we appreciate you guys and, sticking with the village. And Eddie, I mean, it was great when, like I said, you don't tell Eddie to look at something because he does it. So appreciate you, Eddie, for doing a good job. I still can't believe it. We talked about it on the radio show several times. Eddie just sent him a LinkedIn deal. I thought that was a joke, like phishing mail or something. And then you answered. So I appreciate you being diligent about those things and willing to look at Ruidoso.
Yeah, what I would say is that your values match ours.
Excellent.
And that speaks highly for you guys, and we're happy to be here, and happy for the future as well.
Yeah, we're looking forward to this year and then next year for sure.
Yep.
And, we'll do some after-action reports, find out what we got to do better, and
Absolutely.
we'll make sure that we put everything we got into it.
Yeah, and that's the whole goal for us as well, is, you learn by trial and error, and we, as I told you, when we come in specifically to jump from a one-year event to a World Championships, it's going to be a lot of hard work, and it's shown. There's going to be areas that we exceed at, and there's going to be areas we need to improve at, but we have time to work together to identify those. And then, like I say, showcase, and promote Ruidoso to the world for here on out, so.
Well, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, happy to
thank
be
you
here.
very
Thank you.
much.
So thank you.
Thank
for
you
your
very
support,
much.
Mayor.
Appreciate you coming in. I didn't know you guys were coming in.
Yeah.
so
Surprise.
great. It was a surprise, yeah. Well, good. You're almost feeling like family. You guys, you're here so much, and there's no putting on airs when these guys are around. They just are good to be around, good people, and so we appreciate you bringing that here, adding it to the village. So
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate that.
thank you, guys.
Yep,
Thank
cheers.
you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Now then, we'll move on to boards and commissions. And I'm putting up James Rupley, everybody knows him as Jamie,
Yep.
to the Lodgers Tax Committee. He's one of the owners. There he is. Hey, buddy. Yeah, everybody just give. Jamie's been on the RMA board for some time. He's one of the partners in Downship Brewing and Hidden Tap, and they have been very good public partners whenever we've had a fire, a flood, it doesn't matter what. Jamie's one of the first ones that shows up with a van full of pizzas and food and whatever that we need at the Emergency Operations Center. So thank you, Jamie. But he's been patient, and so I'd like to put Jamie's name up to be added to the Lodgers Tax Committee.
Go ahead.
I move that we appoint James Rupley to the Lodgers Tax Committee.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, we'll have a roll call, please, ma'am.
Counselor Letterman?
Aye.
Counselor Hooker?
Aye.
Counselor Corey?
Aye.
Counselor Salas?
Aye.
Counselor Eby?
Aye.
All right, thank you, Jamie. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jamie.
Congratulations.
Good luck.
Yeah. Also, now we'll move on to the village manager's report. And if we can go ahead and get started, Ron.
All right, Mayor and Council, the first item that we're going to have Joe Harden and staff from Zia Trans. As everyone is aware, they'll be stopping services the end of August, and they are going to provide us just an overview of the program and also explain why services are going to stop the end of August. Joe and Peggy?
Hey, Joe.
Oh, I was gonna-
Joe?
You're still muted, Joe.
Can you pin them on there, on the, where they're?
Yeah, can you make them bigger?
We can hear you, Peggy,
Joe is
but Joe,
frozen.
we can't hear.
Joe, you're still on mute.
I think he's froze.
Yeah, he froze.
Hi, everybody. I'm Peggy O'Neill. I'm the Chief Executive Officer. It looks like Joe is frozen. We have been providing public transportation to the village since we were contacted by the New Mexico Department of Transportation back in 2018, asking us to do so. They were getting ready to shut down the transportation system, and they wanted us to have a chance to try to run it, which we've been doing. Our problem is there are not enough workers. We need a crew of 7 people to run your system to its full capacity, and we just can't get beyond 2 people. And when we hire somebody, we have one of them quit. And so it's been like that ever since we started. The most we ever had was right in the beginning. We had 5 for a little while, but when COVID came, it just ruined our ability to have people come forward to be drivers. We tried getting we got a program going at UNM or at Eastern New Mexico up there to get CDL licenses and passenger endorsements for drivers. It would not have cost them a thing, and they would get an increase afterwards. Nobody would take advantage of it, not one person. So we just can't run it with 2 people as drivers. It's just, we can't run it, and we can't get employees, and we have just decided to go ahead and call it a done deal. We just can't seem to get it staffed.
And we understand, and I know we've been struggling with this for a long time to just get people to go to work. You know, some of the people that can afford it the least are the ones that are going to be affected. And just to let the public know, we've been reaching out to Lyft and these other companies. They have corporate programs. Eddie's got us a meeting set up later this week that we're going to try to figure out something to do. But how difficult is it for you to get a driver? What requirements do they have to have?
Well, oh, go ahead, Joe.
No, sir, can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Barely.
Yeah, for us to get a driver, the requirements, of course, clean driving record, drug-free, they're drug tested, able to get a CDL license, and preferably a P endorsement for passengers, and over, I think, the age of 21 for the insurance.
Okay. What about a drug test?
Well, we're under what they call a safety sensitive program for Federal Transit Administration. So we're randomly drug tested. They have to have pre-employment, and then during their tenure with us, they have to be randomly tested.
I can't understand them.
Maybe can you try on what's wrong with my system?
Okay. Yeah,
I'm sorry, Joe, but you were breaking up a lot of that. Can you clarify for us, Peggy? You're coming a lot clearer.
Can you see if you can fix the volume on that, Stephanie? Is it on there?
They have to, so our drivers have to pass a pre-employment drug screening as per FTA requirements, and then they're subject to random drug screenings. That is an FTA requirement.
Is that cannabis? Does that include cannabis?
It does.
Okay, so there we go. That's one of the issues that we're having, folks, with a lot of these type of jobs, that people can't pass it. We have it in the police department, we have it, and there's a big push to drop all that. In the state, I know that couple communities in New Mexico has made it legal or okay for the employees to be able to use cannabis, and, but they're not supposed to do it while you're at work. But just with the nature of cannabis, it's hard to find out when they've had it, when they've taken it, are they under the influence? So there's a lot of issues, but that's the world we're living in today. We're short houses and short workers, but we got plenty of jobs. And so it's a weird situation that we're living in.
In mayor and council, as they stated, it's federal grant dollars, so they have to do a pre-employment and then they do the randoms as part of the grant program.
Okay. Well, we'll miss the relationship because hopefully things will change. And maybe, there's a lot of maybes and hoping going on, but we really hate to lose you guys. And I know it's a big impact to some of our citizens getting to the grocery store and getting to the doctor and other things like that. But we appreciate all your hard work and in the past, your willingness to adapt. And, the program is moved around a little bit here and there, depending on, the village has always been a staunch supporter. The Downs came back on board, and so we appreciate you guys, all the flexibility, and we hate that the relationship is ending for now, but we appreciate what you've done in the past. Does anybody else want to say anything?
I was going to ask a question. What happens with the vans that were allocated to the program?
They actually stay with the program for DOT.
Okay.
So we'll end up bringing them down here. They've met their useful life. So we'll probably sell them, auction them, whatever we can do, put the money into other vehicles.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
We really appreciate the village and everything you all have done to support our efforts. And we're going to really miss our relationship with you all too. We always look forward to coming up to meetings to visit with you all and be part of your sweet community.
Well, and I wanted to be clear because, the reason is just lack of employees. The village has not cut funding. The Downs has not cut funding.
No.
None of that has happened. So the purveyors of that nonsense can be straightened out.
Yeah, it's not anything like that. It is just not being able to find workers.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys very much, and we hope to see you soon down the road.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, Ron.
Thank you. Our next item, Deputy Manager Michael Martinez will give an update on 603 Meacham on our housing project.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. So currently,
Microphone on?
yes, sir.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep. So currently, 603 is in a holding pattern. The state is evaluating some licenses or some inspections that should have been done and some permitting that should have been done. There was failure on 3 of the walls that are put in place with the homes. So CID is doing an inspection. They are working with White Sands to verify that they do get those inspections completed and that the engineering is corrected so that they can make the adjustments to those walls. There needs to be drainage that's included into those areas, and so they'll be working to address it. Until then, we have to hold off on doing anything for moving forward. So that means the landscaping and the fencing, we have to hold off on those because they'd be directly impacted if blocks had to be moved or if drainage had to be put in place. And so we don't have a time frame on that just yet. We are trying to schedule a meeting for Thursday with White Sands to get an idea of what that looks like. I did take a call this morning from CID, and they did mention that they are still waiting on a new new design from the White Sands engineer to see what that will look like. And so we're, again, in that holding pattern until we get those new designs and until they are approved to move forward.
Mayor, clarification, the inspections were not handled by the village.
No, sir. Counselor Corey, Mayor, because 603 Meacham is actually a village facility, the village does not have the ability to inspect its own property. And so the state does have to come out and do inspections. The contractor does have the requirement to file for permits at the state level to be inspected. There was some miscommunication on that side, and so they are refiling through that permit process to make sure that those permits and requirements are met.
And these repairs are on White Sands ticket, right?
Yes, sir, they are. Not on the village. The village is not paying any further funds to either do design, engineering, or construction moving forward.
Okay. Just didn't want to see another change order or something.
No, sir.
come up.
Well, at some point, we're going to have to look at liquidated damages because this has been going, I know we had grace period and everything because of the fire and floods last year and then the winter, and it's just dragging on, but this was a clear misstep, not just an oversight.
No, sir.
The
There was some
engineering was
issues.
wrong, it didn't have the drainage in it,
Yes, sir.
and then wasn't called for inspections. Okay, so that's not good news,
No, that's very disappointing.
because we have people that need and are ready to move into.
I mean, I had somebody say, your place on Elk Meadows is going to be ready before
Oh, I know.
6:03.
Yep. Okay. All right, thank you, Michael. Adam, you want to come up, you want to stick around?
And also Levi?
And
We have
is
a
this going to be on the McDaniel Bridge? or what?
Yes, we'll have McDaniel's Bridge. Levi has an update on that.
You
and then-
bringing old Levi up.
Then we'll go on to some of the other, on some of the other disasters, and then Adam will give an update on the Upper Canyon work, the emergency work that's going on, and then I'll have Chief Hall come in again also.
Mayor, Council, so, and Levi will kind of go into the obligated projects that we have with Bohannon, Houston, and some water projects with Sauter Miller. But MP Chavez is actually going to start on McDaniel Bridge this coming Monday. He did get a truck they can make cement with, so everything's going to be on site to get that bridge done.
This Monday?
This coming Monday.
Next Monday.
And this is going to be the low water
Yes, ma'am.
crossing
Yes,
bridge.
this will be the low water crossing. It'll be four 48-inch culverts, and then they'll be encased in concrete with slopes on each side. So if the water does go over, well, the water will be designed to go over the bridge in high flows, but it will not take out the bridge. All the debris will go over, and we can come clean everything off.
So bottom line, Adam, we're not rebuilding it as it was.
No, sir.
And hopefully this solution's going to stick.
This solution's going to stick until
It's
we get our
temporary.
permanent bridge. Yep.
Yeah, it's just another temporary measure.
And if we can, real quick, Mayor, if I may, Adam, on the questions being asked, okay, about where we're doing what in
Yeah,
Upper Canyon?
I'll let, unless you want me to go into it now, but we can go over the projects and then I'll give. an
Let's go over
update.
the FEMA projects, the disaster projects, and then Adam can give an update on that. Going back to the McDaniels Bridge, Mayor and Council, we did receive the fully executed grant agreement for $350,000 from the state, so this will be 100% paid by the state on this
And
project.
and again, here's another example of how the state government is coming through to support us. I just want the people to know that. This is not something the village has in our bank account. We don't have a mysterious warehouse full of money and workers. It's the same people that work for the village. It's the same funding that we get from GRT. We get around 13% of our budget from property tax, and then the rest is from grants. And so I appreciate the state doing what they've been able to do. Go ahead, Levi.
Mayor, council, so we currently have 29 projects from last year's flooding. 7 projects are in engineering for roadways and culverts. There's 7 projects in engineering there, and then there's 1 project in engineering for a water line for Perk Canyon and North Loop water line that's in engineering with Sauter Miller. Our roadway and our culvert projects are with Bohannon Houston. I did send a list of these projects to the mayor and to Ron, and here in the next couple days, I did talk with Eric about it, and he's gonna get with Kerry, and we're gonna make that public for the public to see the list of those projects and where those are at, on how many are obligated and where they stand. So,
Because I've never seen the project.
Mayor,
Have I?
Yes.
question for Levi. And it goes back to what I asked Adam about how we're engineering the repairs, because one of the complaints I'm receiving from our citizens is we keep rebuilding things the way they were. Could you weigh in on how these projects are being engineered?
So with FEMA, the projects do have to go in as they were before. That's one of the requirements. Now, there is a piece of FEMA's requirements that you can do hazard mitigation and try to, you have to apply for it. You have to fill out a hazard mitigation, and we will, be doing that.
Well, it's steps. Explain all the steps, because you can't just apply for it now. You got to go through all this other stuff.
So, Mayor and Council, what ends up happening, and as Levi just mentioned, you first have to submit for an emergency repair. Once an emergency repair is submitted, it has to be built back the way it was, and that's just to be able to provide that initial level of service.
And Michael,
Yes, sir.
who's dictating that?
That is a FEMA requirement. So any type of emergency repair has to be submitted at the federal requirement the way it was. What Levi had mentioned is that when the program is completed and submitted and the emergency repairs are done, what ends up happening is these projects that were put together, these are the projects that we've discussed over the last several months. They've been put into packages of basically 29 groups. We have roughly about 131 sites that
So
have
one
been
project
identified.
could be 6, 7, 8 roads,
20
culverts, a
culverts,
bridge,
water,
whatever.
yes, sir. And so it's a large combination of
And they've
different
been
items.
at FEMA, so tell them about that process. You submit it.
Yes.
And we submitted these, how many months ago?
So we
8 months ago?
submitted these projects several months ago.
Just several?
About 9 months ago, we
Right.
submitted these projects. In late June, early July, about 20 of these projects were finally obligated. What obligated means is once you submit the project, it goes through a review process. There's a committee at FEMA called the CRC. They go through a review process and figure out, based on information that you've submitted, based on studies that have been completed. So one of the studies that you all may remember is the H&H study, the hydraulic and hydrology study. The reason we conducted that study so early on is so that we could use it as backup information to actually support, Councilor Corey, your point. And so what that does is it says, okay, this is the old project. This is what it used to look like. This is what it used to do. With the new data that we have, the new information that shows the new water flows, the new water levels, the impacts, now based on that study, we can request that we want to change the engineering, not from where it used to be to better. So that works on everything from upsizing the culverts, that works on everything from strengthening the bridges, that works on everything from possibly even, and this is where the rumor comes from or the discussion, why not move the water line out of the sewer? Because the water continues to hit it. So those are the arguments that get made with that supporting documentation, and that's how we can ask for bigger items to help with flow, stronger items to help with debris impacts, things of those natures.
Mayor? Okay, so you said that the end of June, the first part of July, we got an okay for last year.
Yes.
July 7th, we have our huge, so how does that tie in with last year's? Do we have to totally do a whole nother set?
Yes, ma'am. Councilor Letterman, Mayor. So that exactly is the situation. So finishing this process, as soon as it's done and it's obligated, the state gives us money and then we can go out to do what's necessary. So Levi mentioned that we're working with certain contractors, those engineering groups, they're designing the new stuff. Well, since then, I don't know if you all recall, but we did a lot of damage assessments. You saw our teams in the field. They were out trying to identify what the damage was. Levi was leading a lot of that. So was Dave Myers and Alex's team. They were in the field trying to identify damage assessments, but also structural assessments. Adam was working on that significantly. So yes, you had a water line that was damaged last year. We knew it happened from X point to Y point. What Adam and what Levi did is they went out and said, okay, from Y to Z on this side, there's more damage, and A, B, and C over here on this side is damaged. And we had to document that. So all of those items have been documented, and we're not done yet. We're still going through that process. Part of Adam and the work that he's doing in Upper Canyon is saying, hey, this is the emergency work, but now we're documenting that emergency work. This is everything that has to be done, taking pictures of it, we're identifying those issues. All of that is going to be submitted to FEMA again to say, this is the damage that occurred that's new. We took FEMA out last Thursday. We took FEMA out last Thursday, showed them all of the impact areas that we had already identified, identified those situations that said, this is new, this is old. We were asked, can you show us that this was new and this was old? 100%. Great, send it to us. What's your estimate? Show us what the cost is, what you're spending right now. Put it in a package and send it to us. So our consultant, Dennis Dukes, is working with both of them to make sure that he packages that information, and then we are going to resubmit everything, like we have these 29 projects, that whole package will be submitted again for the floods that happened in July.
So
I'm sorry.
No, so the obligation from last year is no.
No, the obligation is still there. So
Okay.
it will address the issues from last year. This is where the mayor will talk to you about it 110% on the radio and anywhere else. We initially asked for what was considered cascading events. Cascading events are exactly like they sound. You have one issue that is the actual disaster. That disaster then triggers events that happen multi-year. And because they happen multi-year, you can end up going back to that original disaster and saying, hey, I had 20% damage here, now I have 30%, now I have 50%. It's cumulative. We do not have cascading events tasked to that initial disaster, which means every single year for the next 7 years, and I will guarantee you 100% that will happen each and every year, we will have a new disaster at some point in time. Whether it gets declared as a federal disaster or not, we will have to show that we meet those federal requirements. But we will basically have to open a new disaster each and every year and show the difference of what has happened from year one to whatever year we're in, and make that request that we need that assistance to be able to fix that.
So Mike, when you were out with FEMA last week, I had heard some rumblings a couple of weeks ago that FEMA wasn't necessarily on the same page with us as far as interpreting the severity of the situation. Are they coming around? Are they seeing how dire things are?
So I actually got a text this morning from our the federal coordination officer and the new operations person. They are looking, they see the issues, they want to talk about the new damages. But there's a benefit even if we don't get on the same page. The benefit is that the program that we're in is based on actuals. So even if we go out and say, hey, this is what the issue is. So for example, last year's package is roughly $39 million estimated damage that FEMA has put a number to. Today, if we spend $100 million on everything, they will reimburse us at $100 million, not the 39 that they had estimated. So it's not necessarily a bad thing that they don't agree on the exact damage, but that they agree that something is in fact damaged. That's the the concern we have.
We get the money from the state, and this is where we'll have to keep going back and asking for additional funding.
There is a 75% match component. So 75% is paid by the federal government. Usually it's 12.5% and 12.5% state and local matches. So we still have to come up with a portion of those funds.
Mayor, so if FEMA says, okay, from last year, these projects are obligated, do we get the money for those?
No, it's reimbursed. So
So
that's
we
why,
pay for it,
yeah, that's why we went to the state.
right?
And so we're drawing down on that 22 million that was put in there.
Yes.
And there's an additional 22 that's supposed to be put in when that's exhausted. So that's our money to get the project started. And then we submit for reimbursement to FEMA, and of course, they have all their inspectors and everybody look at that. After the engineering's approved, and we got the contractors and all of this, and then sometime, because it took us, 2.5, 3 years to get reimbursed last time on the McBride fire, the 3.5 million. So it's gonna take a long time, and that's why we have to be very careful. If we don't do this the right way, the way we're documenting, we can bankrupt ourselves. And so it's a very difficult process, and I know Mike gets frustrated, I do too, Ron, because we're constantly showing the additional damage and it's not cascading.
And Mayor Crawford, members of the council, at the end of the project, us as a village they conduct an audit of the project. They go through every single invoice, check, you name it.
Who's getting paid?
Yes, and if we've already cut those checks, we expended, and we have items that were not eligible, then we have to pay it back.
Right.
And it's a very tough, Judy goes through that audit, so.
But, Mayor, to your point and what this document is that Levi has in front of him, so this is going to be made a little bit prettier. Our PIO team is tackling
Will
it.
it help?
I think so. I think so.
Please.
So this document will actually be a graphic that will be on the website. Carrie and her team are putting that together now. To Mr. Hall's discussion earlier, there's actually going to be a graphic that accompanies this chart, and it will show what that process is. There is a FEMA graphic that almost looks like a snake that has different colored portions to it, and it shows the process. So we'll be able to have that tied to this document and identify where, in fact, it is in the process, what's been funded, and if it has been funded, we will go ahead and identify where the village is at. So, for example, of those projects that have been obligated and the number that are in engineering right now, we will actually have at the village in engineering what that time frame looks like, and once it's out to bid for construction, what that looks like, and then the estimated completion time frame as well.
Okay. Well, we appreciate, staying after these jobs. None of them are easy. So we want to go ahead and, are you through with your portion on those? Because it's a long, long process, and it's going to take us a while to get our money back, but the state has agreed to step in the front of it, and that's why we do everything we possibly can do. We're still working on legislative stuff, and this doesn't have anything to do with anything but the projects. Doesn't have anything to do with the buyout program.
No.
It doesn't have anything to do with PPDR, because the New Mexico Constitution forbids government, public, for doing anything on private property. It's the anti-donation clause.
Well, and for the record, Mayor, thanks to your connections and Ron's connections, I mean,
Michael.
that's saved us, because
Well, I mean, these guys, he finds money all the time, working unbelievably hard at getting funding. Every grant that's out there, we've got somebody in one department or another that's going after it. And we may get a grant, like congratulations to Anthony. Is he gone?
Nope.
What did he get, 2.1 million dollars that's going to go to the community center. Now, we can't take his 2.1 and spend it on anything else.
my street.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on like that we can't do. So we're able to get grants that help different pieces of our puzzle that we're working around town.
Mayor, one more thing. So there's always so many negative things going around that says, if you would just clean the culverts, and that would help the flow of the water and we wouldn't flood. So in one of the projects, I mean, could one of the projects be to clean the culverts in the byway, in the areas where the
Well, they are.
roads got?
Yep.
I-
So, Mayor Crawford, Councilor Letterman, so that, we are doing that, but at the same time, this list that's right here includes those culverts.
That's what I figured.
But just to remind everybody, over the last year, we've removed 500,000 cubic
Tons.
Yeah.
of sediment
Yeah.
that came just out of the river. And then after July 8th of last year, it's all back.
And Mayor and Council, I want to make something very clear. Adam and his team have done amazing work, and I know there's constant criticism, but they've done amazing work in clearing as many culverts as they can. What I think the situation is, and what people may not understand, is that there are certain culverts that were so clogged that they have basically been declared lost.
Like concrete.
And so we can't touch some of those culverts because to jet them out, it would actually break the culvert. Again, the process that we have to follow is, this is a damaged culvert, you have to leave it as it is and then replace it. And so we first have to get approval to replace some of those culverts. And that's a huge frustration on our residents. They see a culvert, they see it's completely clogged. His team has gone in and either tried to look at it, or it was identified by FEMA and our team as, hey, this can't be cleaned. It is placed on a list and we have to submit it for approval first, and then we can replace it at a later point in time. That's the frustrating part, because it could be 2 years later. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, and we get it.
Yeah.
And then to the public, it just is more confusing. Why aren't we doing this when we should? And it's because FEMA will not pay for it. And so, yes, we could go in there and start doing every bit of this, and we've spent, I know DRC, last time I checked, was owed over $100 million. That's the company that's paying all these contractors out.
Yeah.
So a lot of those contractors are still owed a lot of money. $100 million. And the village has really good savings, and we're very good stewards of the money. We don't have $100 million. And so to people out there that have a house that had insurance, but they weren't in the floodplain, and then they get wiped out by the flood, okay, they don't have any insurance. And so they're coming to us saying, I want you to buy me out. And the village doesn't have that kind of money, as y'all know. So that's it's really the crux to the situation. People are needing their money. And so they're looking to the village to write them a check, and that's just not possible. So we're working through every program.
Yes, we are working through every program that's available. There is not an active buyout program available to the village or to Lincoln County.
Or to Ruidoso Downs.
Or to Ruidoso Downs. There isn't anything that's available to the entire area. They are actively, and I say they, the federal government and multiple agencies through NRCS, a possible FEMA buyout later on after they identify impacts could possibly come in. There are possibilities of funds being used through the CDBG-DR grant, which is the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Grant. That's $137 million. But those funds are still being identified and directed as to what they can be used for. So there is not an active buyout program that has been presented to this community
And the
yet.
caveat to that is the village would have to pay the 25%, not the property owner. I mean,
Well, we're not even there yet.
and we're working on it, and we're working on legislation with
Representative
Harlan
Vincent.
Vincent's working on it, and then we're actually working with a lot of other ones.
Yes.
We asked for 250 million, and they're like, that ain't gonna happen. So they bumped it down to 100 million, which will still get us a long way to get started. So that's legislation that we're working on. So all of these things are being done behind the scenes to try to get that. If we got the 100 million, then I feel like we'll have a better chance of the feds coming up with a program.
And there has been a request to NRCS for $650 million. That number was determined by the number of homes that were in the floodway, our damage assessments, a formula of available property values. So those are pretty conservative requests that were probably much higher than that, but we would still have to come up with 25%.
So you're going to put all this on the snake-like halls chart?
We will, well, these are just the projects here,
Okay,
but
well,
we can work on
so you need to
everything
put
together.
all that
Yes, sir.
on
On
a
a
chart,
chart.
and it's very difficult to get.
Yeah, and one page.
in one pa- But the thing of it is even if you get on there, it's hard to understand and believe because it doesn't make sense. And so these are things that we've been talking about for years with the federal government on how we're going to do it.
I know Adam was going to address some of this stuff in Upper
Yes,
Canyon.
can you go ahead, Adam, and talk about water issues and when and when not?
Yes, sir, Mayor, Council. So I'll kind of go into what's going on in Upper Canyon and what we've got done, and this, I think it'll kind of answer some of the questions that were displayed. So as of right now, we have J&H Services, we have ProPipe, we have AUI, and we have MP Chavez. So MP Chavez is working from Meacham Drive to Country Club. Okay, all the other contractors we have are working in Upper Canyon. We started at the Circle Lift Station, which is right at the beginning of Upper Canyon. We have a lift station there, it's 28 feet deep. It was 18 feet in sediment, rocks, it was just like concrete, like you said about the culverts, you know, you get in those sewer lines, all that stuff, it builds up like concrete. So if that's 18 feet with concrete, all the sewer lines, you know, it's.
That means the sewer line's up above that lift station is
Yes.
full.
Yes. So they have worked, they've cleaned out the lift station. We've pulled all the pumps out of the lift station, cleaned them all up. The lift station is operational at this time. They have made it all the way up to the main road in Slay, which is the first leg by
Time
First.
out. You remember when I called you this week and I said, hey, I'm in Upper Canyon?
Yep.
And what did I ask you?
You said there's nobody working.
Yeah, I said, there's nobody working. And what did you tell me?
They're in the river.
And so I was driving up down the road and I couldn't see them. And so I got out, started walking along the river. And then that's where I saw the
Well,
trucks working.
And Adam, I appreciate that clarification. I've received multiple phone calls. We heard Ms. Stone
Yes.
comment. So just the fact you don't see people with jackhammers in front of your home or residence doesn't mean the work's not happening.
So the sewer line is the majority, 95% of the sewer line, the main interceptor line is in the river or on the side of the river. So to access it, they have to go up the river to access the sewer line, and that's where they're working. Now, so like I said, we're from the Circle Lift Station from the beginning of Upper Canyon to Slay Road in Maine, which is at bridge number 1, they have cleaned out. They've done 5-point repairs, which they've put in roughly 180 linear feet of pipe and 5 manholes. That is going to be operational, the lift station operational. We have another crew of ProPipe working on Hummingbird on the river. It's going to go through Coyote, Fox, all that, and that's the next leg of the.
On the fire department.
Yes, sir. We do have AUI working at Second Bridge because we did identify, and we saw the sewer line laying on top of the ground. They've identified right now, as of right now, 200 linear feet of pipe that's gone. And the best I can explain it is, you know, some of this pipe, it's old clay pipe. So get a clay pot, put a rock in there and shake it and see what happens.
Oh.
It's gone.
So, Adam, what I'm hearing is the operation is staged.
Yes.
So are we going to be opening up as you work your way to the reservation?
Councilor Corey, that is the plan. My plan is to get the section from the Circle to Main Road 2
Okay.
operational and hopefully get that opened up with y'all's approval. Okay? Now, the water, she did, you know, I did hear some, you know, they did have water when they left their homes. Okay, well, we didn't just start working on this when we closed the Upper Canyon. We, you know, when we noticed that we're out of water, we start working on it right away. Now, we did make a repair. It was a temporary repair to, you know, to stop the leakage, and that's why people have residual water. It's not full pressure. It cannot, it sustain a fire, you know, fire truck hooking up to it. So that's what we're working on this week. After the first flood this year, they took out the pump station at the very back of Upper Canyon. Now, there's three different pressure zones in Upper Canyon. We have the alto pressure system, which comes from the alto tanks up here, all the way through Ponderosa Heights, Brady Canyon, leads all the way up Upper Canyon to that pump station, up to the tanks on top of the hill, and then it has a higher pressure feeding all the way down the residence for fire protection to Black Forest. Okay, last year, we did a tie-in in Black Forest to turn water around to keep Black Forest residents in water. Now I have opened that valve and fed grindstone water all the way up to the tanks, deadheaded at the tanks. I'm still feeding Alto water. I was feeding Alto water to the pump station up there, so the other people would have water. So what the guys are working on today is at 804 Main, there's a hole as big as this room in the roadway. I'm tying the low-pressure system and the high-pressure system together because I'm isolating the crossing at Singing Pines to get residents water. That way, if we do get another flood, that piece will not break again. So,
And people need to understand, when he talks about the back of Upper Canyon, it's right at the reservation line. That's where water treatment plant 1 was at. And that's where his pumps were at. That's all gone.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, and so it takes more than one night or 2 days to fix it. And it's been catastrophic up there, and I know you've reversed water, you've moved it here and there to get pressure so people can have water.
And Mayor and Council, just an aside that I think Adam left out, and it really needs to be made clear. We have something called intermittent response. So there's a disaster and our guys are out and they're back and forth. What we're also learning is we have intermittent recovery and intermittent damage. Every single time there's a flood, he makes an emergency repair. That same emergency repair could be torn up the exact same new, or the new event. So we could be fixing the same, which we have done. We have fixed the same water line 5 times. 5 times. And that's not counting sewer or any other items that we've had.
And I know
damaged.
you've covered them up, you've tried to arm them as best you can, and that's when, we all get the phone calls, they can't get my water fixed, it's never working, it's on, it's off after every flood, it's because it keeps getting destroyed. So we're having to work on a permanent plan, which is gonna be through the FEMA program. It'll be engineering to redo the whole sewer line eventually, and the water lines all have to be redone. But right now, you're doing everything you can. It's like whack-a-mole. And people just don't get it because their house is out of water.
Well, and I'm getting as many comments about people that have water
Yeah.
as I am. So the people that have water are wondering, why can't I just stay?
Because they flush it in the river.
yeah, because there's nowhere for you may have water in your house, but as soon as you flush it down your toilet, it goes straight in the river.
Okay.
Because explain to them how you work from point to point, like on the manhole covers, how they have to remove those.
So basically, you have to go from the bottom to the top. So if you go from the top to the bottom, you're pushing everything down, and you're backing up every residence. So if I make a repair at a High Loop, or North Loop, I'm sorry, and people start say, okay, well, I can use my water, they start flushing the toilet, well, then it's gonna go in their neighbor's house. Or it's gonna start,
But they're supposed to have a backflow preventer.
supposed to.
Yeah, and it's another issue that we have an ordinance that you're supposed to have a backflow preventer on your sewer, but a lot of people we find out still don't.
Yes, so we're working from the bottom to the top. We're having to plug the line as we're going because like last night, I was up all night thinking, well, all that work we just did
Yep.
is gonna go down the drain. Luckily, we got lucky with it. So we are plugging the line as we're going up, as we're working. That way if, let's say that Pro Pipe is rotting that line and something gets through. We've had that happen before. It's gonna plug back up what they've already done. So we're working it from point A to point B and trying to make good progress.
So Adam, what happened last night?
We had a couple roads get overtopped, but there was nothing big that happened.
Yeah, it seemed to be slow and steady.
It was slow and steady. There was a lot of booming and light and everything in the
It was a
sky.
show.
But it was down low. Upper Canyon, we did get some landslides in Upper Canyon. Nothing, you can still get up there. I can still get up there. It needs to be cleaned off, but we have the whole road block. So we'll get that all cleaned up.
But you guys have become masters after each one of these events. The crews get out, get it cleaned up, swept up. The roads get open, even in Upper Canyon where you're having the landslides. All of these things to get people into their homes. And then it was finally the determination was made when you saw there was so much of the sewer line gone that you had to shut it down to get in there so we can have access plus all the road cuts.
And, that was another thing that got brought up is EPA.
Uh-huh.
It's the village that's doing the work.
Yeah.
EPA has been on my rear end in MED because they know that there's sewer going in the river. That's why we had to say, well, we got to cut our ties somewhere and get a start on this because we can't let the sewage, go in there. It becomes a health risk. And that's what we're trying to.
And we've tried discussing this, letting people know, because I do have people say, I have my own water well and I'll just hook it up to the house and then I'll take my own shower. I ask them, where are you gonna put the water? when you flush the toilet? And they said, I'll just flush it. I said, well, it's going to go into the river because they've got them. And that shocks me that they don't care, as long as their water's fine. And so that's why we had to make the determination, we're just shutting it all off and getting in there and trying to do it as best we can. And I applaud you guys and the people that are working upstairs. We haven't forbade anybody to go up there, but we just want them to make sure that they're not up there at night because it's dark, there's no street lights, and there's open ditches up there with just an orange cone in front of them because we've got all these work trucks going.
So, Adam, and I realize it's a fluid situation, no pun intended. We shut it down last Thursday.
Actually, it's Friday morning at 8 o'clock, wasn't it?
It's Thursday morning.
Thursday morning, okay.
So are we where you had hoped we'd be?
Be careful, because as soon as he says, I think it will be law.
No, and that's the thing, Mayor, and Councilor Corey, is we're making good progress. We are. And it just depends on what we find. We have NRCS up there working in the river, and the other day they called me and said, hey, there's a sewer line just laying on the side of the road right here, so we know that one's gone also, But we're working, and I'm trying to identify the areas that are not going to be affected if we do let residents back in there. We're trying to, just like moving the water around. I'm seeing which residents are fed onto Main Road instead of the river, because there's a sewer line on Main Road. We're trying to make those determinations so we can make progress to get people back in their homes.
There was, after getting numerous calls, no one's working up here, there was a post, and I don't know who put it, last night showing the work, and there were pictures of the
Yes.
river.
I saw that.
If we could get messages like that out.
Well, and we have been trying to get them. I think they were up there taking photos, and that was the whole goal.
Yeah, that was a good
I'm
one.
sending photos and a little update to Carrie every afternoon, and so she can post them.
Yeah, because I've been sharing that. So a related question, not necessarily to Adam, Ron, maybe to you. I've received multiple calls about Xterra. Could you kind of clarify where those participants are staying and if there's
Edward?
enough
Well, let's just back up, because we had a meeting with the Upper Canyon Lodgers, and I know I didn't see Bradshaw at that meeting. We met with them before we shut the water off, explaining to them the situation. And we very much understand that they're losing money. And I know some of them were telling me they're losing over $10,000 a day. But we're working as fast as we can. And these guys are doing it, and we've shown them, and they've all been pretty much understanding. They see what we're doing.
And Mayor,
what we're
to
having
answer
do.
Councilor Corey's question, one of the things that we've done is we do understand that there were participants that were in Upper Canyon. One of the things that we've been doing is Eddie has been working in conjunction with Xterra and with the general hotel liaison that's out of the EOC, because we were responding to the disaster component. They did give contact numbers back to Xterra. Xterra has reached out to their athletes. Some athletes had already presented emails from the Upper Canyon businesses that said, we will not be able to house you. They have coordinated efforts to relocate those athletes into open businesses where they can stay. And so I don't have the last details, but it's my understanding that everyone has pretty much been relocated.
Well, and Mayor, that question wasn't just from the Upper Canyon Lodgers. It was from people in town wondering,
Where they
do all
staying?
these athletes have a place to stay? And it sounds
Yes,
like
sir.
Yeah.
And so the businesses have all been updated with new contact information. Athletes, I believe, are in all of their locations. Again, all of the athletes will be participating on the Grindstone course. From a safety perspective, they will be at Grindstone. They will be on the trails, both for the run and for the bike. And so I know there had been some questions about what about the flooding or anything else. It really doesn't impact them from that standpoint. And so even on the finish line and finishing at Wingfield, that impact isn't there. But from a business standpoint and location standpoint, those hotels and those contacts have been made.
We'll go ahead and cover, because Grindstone Lake is doesn't have a whole lot of water. Tell them that story again.
So from Grindstone Lake perspective, on the diversion side,
Yes,
the
sir.
reason it doesn't have any water, we did finish the initial sediment or sediment of
Desilting?
desilting, excuse me. I'm sorry, I haven't slept in a while. The desilting of the actual diversion point. That diversion point was starting to move water to Grindstone, which is one of the ways to move water to the lake. In this last flood and over the recent floods, it was significantly impacted. I think it was a rock the size of a Prius, right? That basically took out half of the structure. And so since then, we haven't been able to take any more water. But Xterra has worked with it. I believe they will be doing 2 laps in the lake, and they will still be continuing the event and moving forward.
So there's enough water for that.
Yeah, he said there was, and we were pretty worried about that, but it just goes to show you, even with Xterra, as big of a deal that this is and the World Championship's coming, we can't get in there and even fix that. You know, we're fixing everything, putting the citizens first to try to get their residents open. Shadow Mountain Lodge had a bunch, and maybe Bradshaw did too, of we had the big horse sale this last weekend. And that's where all the guys were staying that they bring in to do the sale, and they had to be relocated. But we did our best to get a hold of them and just let them know we have no other options. We've run out because these guys have gone up there and moved lines, backed water up. I don't know how they got it going to get people going, only with the next event it be wiped out. And so they're to be applauded all the hours they've worked to get it done, even shorthanded.
And Mayor and Council, there was one other item I wanted to address. I believe Councilor Corey, you had also asked a side question to Adam about what had happened last night. I wanted to add on to that. So there was some questions, and I just wanted to address it up front. There were some questions as to why we didn't get alerts or we didn't receive emergency alerts last night. There wasn't any there was flash flooding. What I wanted to let people know is that the water that was going over the low water crossings was not considered flash flooding. Our teams are already out and about. PD and fire are in those areas at night anyway. They did block off those crossings. They did not allow cars to pass. A flash flood for the National Weather Service and the EOC had responded. These guys were out in the field. We were monitoring everything. But a flash flood for National Weather Service is basically 6 inches over the road or whatever their requirement is for the precipitation. So it's half an inch in a certain amount of time over the burn scar.
But that call, Mike, is made by Albuquerque, not.
Yes, so Albuquerque makes that call. They will send out the national warning or the weather warning this is a flash flood warning. That's why there wasn't the warning that was received, because there wasn't one sent.
So a related question, and Mayor, I think you've addressed it multiple times, but I'm still a little confused about the sirens.
Okay.
If the sirens go off, they will only go off if we're to evacuate. Is that
Correct.
correct? And with these new sirens and
I'm gonna
voice.
I'm gonna have Chief
thank
all
you.
come up and do just to give us a status update on that one,
Thank
Councilor.
you. Forgive me.
No, I mean, it's confusing.
Yep.
And you want to come on up, Chief Hall? And I'll just let you know, yesterday, we started with the weather on this Slack app, and it went all night long. Like every hour, Eric is sending an update. So those of us that are fortunate enough to be on it, you get woke up every time that it does, and you're reading, and everybody's giving a thumbs up. We're ready to go. He's getting ready to call them out to stand up at the EOC, all this stuff. So they're watching it
And there
constantly.
were boots on the ground.
And boots on the ground, but it goes all the way through. They have people out taking pictures of the water in the runoff areas, the river. So our people are on it, and that's something the public does not know. But I applaud everything. And I mean, Mike's not lying. You don't go to sleep. I mean, I didn't get up and go out, but I was, it was like, oh my gosh, just woke up again. I want to give a thumbs down, but I don't want to do that. Because these guys are very eager to get to the work, and that's what always impresses me. I don't hear any moaning or groaning. You just get out there and do it, and I appreciate it. So go ahead, Chief. Talk to us about the sirens.
Okay, so we have our initial or the original siren system still up and running right now, and that's what we're utilizing at this point. So there's still those 7 old sirens that we're using. But we just got erected the new system, so they put up 9 new sirens throughout town. I don't know if you've seen them all.
Yeah, excellent.
So right now, we're waiting on the electricians to wire them all in and P&M to get us, I believe there was 3 new services they had to build. And they need an engineer, and I guess that takes a really long time.
They only have one engineer, the whole
Yeah.
company out there.
So Chief, once they're up and running, it's still the same protocol? If the siren's only gonna go off to evacuate?
So we're trying to adjust that. As of right now, yes, sir, it's still basically focused on a wildland situation that we've had in the past. It's, that's been our primary problem is the wildland situation. So that's how this system was built. But during the building, we added 3 voice sirens that you can set off any of these sirens. You don't have to set them all off at the same time like the old system. We can pick one siren and set it off. So that's a new system, an upgrade to the
So
system.
you may be adjusting the protocol.
We are
Well,
going to
and they're going to put together something to bring to the council.
Okay.
So we know, but just to be clear, beforehand, it was an evacuation.
Entirely.
The sound of safety was evacuation. We didn't have floods, and I know people, 1948, 1967, 72. It's like, then in 2000, when was it, 2008? That wasn't a consistent thing.
Right.
But right now, if we tell everybody to evacuate, what would they have done? They'd have went downhill.
Yeah. no
And
floods.
everywhere you said, somebody said it earlier, the mountain, we're all down. And so these people would have driven right into the flooding zones.
Yes, sir.
And so that's why you hadn't done it.
So you referred to 2008, and the big difference is, back then, I don't know if you remember, Chief, but half the sirens weren't even working.
Yeah.
That was back before we tested them, and
Oh, well, we tested, so that's funny. So these sirens are probably 50 or more years old. So back in the day, these sirens were actually designed to tell everybody when the Monday night meetings for the fire departments were.
Exactly.
So
No, that's every Monday night. they
one
were
other stupid question for me. Say I'm from El Paso and I'm up here visiting, will my phone alert me to the flood situation by virtue of the fact I'm here?
We got a guy in the back.
That's very reassuring.
But if you have your phone allowing that setting.
So Mayor and Council,
Yes.
do you have an iPhone?
Locator
Councilor
on
Corey?
your phone.
Can you do me a favor real quick, and we'll go ahead and walk everyone through it. So if you can go to settings. Once you click on settings, go ahead and go to notifications.
Oh, it is.
Go to settings.
Settings, then where?
Notifications.
Yours is the
Once
same.
you're on notifications,
Oh, you
scroll
got it.
all the way down. It's a bunch of apps all the way down.
Oh, right there. Right there. Yes, sir. Go to notifications.
Now, down at the bottom, you'll see emergency alerts. Go ahead and click that. You'll see 3 other alerts. The one that's important is that local alert. You want to make sure it's on.
See, mine's even off.
Yours is off?
So we've identified that it's a standard Apple setting, that one is actually off.
Good to know, thank you.
And the mayor and I yesterday, who did we speak to, Mayor? They said they had their alert off on there for notices on there, and we were just saying, hey, make sure you have your notice on. They said,
Well,
oh,
they
I have
didn't
it
want
on.
a big brother to track
Yes.
them. It was somebody that we were visiting with. They don't like knowing where your phone's at. And we do have software that we track that we can tell who is coming into the community, where they're going, where they're spending their money, that type of thing. So I understand they turn it off.
And Mayor and Council, just to add on to the siren discussion. So yesterday, we had a discussion with the 406 team for the state and what we're going to be submitting for FEMA. 406 funds are a percentage of the funds that come back to us from the big projects that we submit. We are going to be asking for 6 additional speaking sirens that can be turned on to say flash flooding or whatever the pre-established message is. We will also be adding a low water crossing system that does have speakers on it that can be alerted during the siren component as well. So once Chief and his team identify what that new protocol will be, they'll establish that, and you'll be able to have multiple speaking sirens, hopefully in the near future. But that's the process that we're moving forward
We
towards as well.
ordered these, y'all remember after the fire, when we lost some and we added some? And so we just got them in, what, a week or two ago?
Yes, sir.
And then we got the metal poles, and then we've just been able to get them installed.
In
Otero.
government time, that was sonic speed.
Oh, it is. And that's, part of it is when we're in these meetings, they're like, we can't believe you've already got this done. And then the other people that are needing stuff, it's too long.
And
It's
we do
a
have
difficult
3 speaking.
situation.
So 3 of the sirens do speak to you as, right now, so they're either preloaded messages, or you can get on there and do a live message on 3 of the sirens, and those are located at White Mountain Sports Complex.
Yep.
Oh, good, maybe.
At there on Hall Road and,
Paradise and
Paradise.
Country Club.
yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that one's
yeah,
Wingfield Park.
Wingfield Park, and you got one at the Diamond where
Yep.
Counselor Letterman always likes to put her signs when she's running for office
Yes.
there.
Yes.
And then the other one's at White Mountain.
And the snow park.
And where?
The snow park.
Snow Park up,
Very good.
yep. And so those have voice on them, and we'd eventually like to go to that complete system like that.
Yeah, that would be very
But
good.
you guys went to work real early and ordered those, and now hopefully it'll pay off as soon as we can get them.
And then we owe, a lot of gratitude to Otero County Electric, because they're the ones that dug
Oh,
the
yeah.
holes and set them for us. And
Yeah.
they built them, and, they did a lot of work for us. So.
Yeah. They did a really good job on those, so.
But we're gonna cancel out with the whole siren system. We're gonna take out, like that one right over there by sub 4. So those old dilapidated ones, they're gonna disappear. So they're just, we put way too much money in trying to maintain them, and this new system's gonna take their place, so.
Send them to the Wingfield Museum.
Yeah, there you go. You go ahead.
Amanda, I know, are these guys done? Would it be okay?
Sure, I have,
On reports,
I will have
put
one
Amanda
more
on the spot real quick.
update for council, and then we can have, you bet, we can have Amanda come up, you bet. Just the final update is just the water conservation. I had it on the manager's report. That's something that, working with Connie and Jackie, is they've also are applying for some New Mexico Finance Authority funds, but we want to
Thanks, Drew.
get a task order with one of our engineers to get this water conservation plan and the drought contingency plan rewritten, but we're going to start that process also.
Amanda, please. It's easy.
She's gonna quit coming.
Yeah, I know. Mr. Mayor,
Well, no, it's in,
mayoral reports,
village
it's like-
manager's report.
Okay.
so it's made news now about the OHVs or vehicles that are all
Oh, yeah.
off of forest roads. What are you guys gonna do, or is there gonna be something that changes? Because I Jeep all over the place, and I've seen some of this stuff, and now it's making state news anyway.
Yeah, so this is primarily in the Sacramento district. So
Right.
that's where some of that had happened, and it was in a really critical area where we have livestock grazing as well as New Mexico meadow jumping mouse habitat, which is a threatened endangered species. And then you got riparian areas, which everybody loves to be around the water. So, and I don't blame them. It's really nice, but it gets trampled on, and it leads to a lot of erosion, water quality issues. So right now, at least in that area, we're looking at a temporary closure order, so that banning camping and OHV use in those and other.
This over by Cloudcroft?
It's over by Cloudcroft. I know we have issues with it here too. It's not, we all see it. So we do have a designated area, and I'd have to go back and look at the maps, where we have an OHV designator in Ruidoso. However, folks don't really like to use that spot because you can't just ride your vehicle.
It's Hale Lake.
Hell, like
Yeah.
you gotta
Yep.
haul them.
Yep, and so you have to actually
Trailer
unload
to
your
the-
trailer. Yeah, and so folks don't like to do that here. They just like to drive right up to wherever they want to go to from wherever they're staying at. So, so we're gonna ramp up a campaign, an education campaign. we brought in more law enforcement officers to help patrol the areas, make sure folks are abiding by, staying on the proper trails, or roads. 55, it's geared for 50 inches, not anything wider. So that's part of the problem too, is we see a lot of OHVs that are getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So we're looking at it. It's something that we're gonna have to, as an agency, we're just gonna have to take a harder look at for the area because it's just become such a popular sport.
And then monitor it, and write tickets to people. That's what we found with speeding and everything else. That's the only thing that gets their attention. But it's just as simple as an intersection that they round the corners. And then next thing you know, that intersection's huge. And then you have erosion, mud, and during our periods of dry time, it just is terrible.
Oh, yeah. Yep, nope, and it's a constant battle. So even in our roads, it just causes so much damage, and folks just don't realize how much work goes into it. And
Adam's buying him a brand new one.
I see there. All right, well, thank you. I just had seen that, and some people had reached out to me from other parts of the state saying, hey, what's going to go on? I got somebody I can ask right here.
Yeah, so more to come, most likely, but we're going to try education and, like you said, enforcement, first, and really ramp up our signage as well. And then in the future, we'll see what we can do. So,
I have a question.
We got another question.
Amanda, get a lot of questions about the village and the forest with the flooding. And of course, the village we don't do anything in the forest. So what's the Forest Service doing to maybe help us? I know we had helicopters and they did all that, but is there anything else you're doing to help us not prevent the flooding, but
mitigate it?
Maybe, yeah. I get so many critiques on, well, y'all should be doing this and that. I was just wondering, what is the
plan?
Mm-hmm.
So we have our disaster recovery team it's a money that's been allotted to us for 5, and I think they give us extra time now to spend those funds. But our disaster recovery team has come up with a plan of what we're gonna do moving forward with, flood. Part of it is flood mitigation, but also rehabbing the land too. So taking down trees, like right now we have, and it's not been very popular, but we closed down some of those trails around the fitness trail, and that's one of my
Yeah,
personal
why
favorites.
is that? Why did you close that one down? There's no effect to it.
So I know. No, so what happens is, and I've seen it multiple times when I've been on the trail, not now, I haven't been in there since it's closed, but prior to our closure, you can see a lot of material and debris coming down from the sides, and just with the amount of children and families that utilize that trail, if something were to happen, flood comes down, and sometimes we get the alert right away, but sometimes it's not soon enough. And so just for the safety of folks, we decided to close those areas down that were close to, that could be impacted by flooding, that we were seeing flooding coming down. So that's why those areas are closed. And I know that's where
And for how long?
And the monsoon
After
season.
monsoons.
After monsoon season will open up. So that's what we put in the order is, we have it, I think it's until September, October, but it's really, or we can open it sooner, just depending on when the season ends.
Yeah.
But yeah, so back to your question, our team is putting together, they have a plan. We were supposed to present it to the public, I believe it was last month, but then the floods happened that evening, and so we postponed the meeting. But it should be at ENMU, and I believe it's rescheduled, and the Forest Service will present what our plan is moving forward for mitigating not just flood, but rehab. Again, even with permittees, any of those other entities that were affected on Forest Service land by the floods. Additionally, there was, I believe, $14 million that was set aside for the village, state, and tribal entities to utilize those funds as well. So I believe you guys had that meeting.
No, we didn't get any of that, did we, Dick? I knew it. We're listening. Do we get any money set aside to do forest, was it restoration or thinning?
No, it was supposed to be, it was whatever you guys wanted to decide it to be. So there was a meeting, I'm sorry, it was a couple weeks ago that was hosted at, I think it was virtually, that it discussed with village folks, I believe. Were you at the meeting? I don't know if you were.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
It was a meeting, it should have been sent to you all, and it was in regards to that 14 million that was set aside that would give, how to spend that 14 million, because it's not on the Forest Service hands, we're giving it to the state to then disperse to the village, to tribal, to other entities, so.
Do you know about $14 million? No? Yeah, I was, do you know about, I don't know anything
No.
about this.
I know you mentioned some funding, but I wasn't aware of the meeting. Is that something we could still get with you and talk about?
It's not us, so we gave that money over to the state, so, I'm drawing a blank on her name right now. I'll get with you, Ron, afterwards, and I will get you the contact.
Okay, that wasn't the USDA, was it? Okay, because I spoke with
The
them.
money came through to us, but then we didn't want to have the say as to what those funds were for, so we wanted to, it was supposed to be again for state, tribal, and private properties, and so that would have that was what that meeting was for, was to have further conversations amongst those entities to have ideas of how that.
I heard a rumor that there was going to be a meeting, but I don't remember, because that was it was going to be able to be used on private property.
Correct. So I'll get you the contact.
Okay.
So on those funds, are those funds targeted for a specific area or?
They're gone, I think.
It's up
Well,
to,
like,
no, it was, so it should be, I shouldn't say, you have the footprint of the fire, and it can still be used for areas adjacent to the fire as well. So say, for example, for us, we know that South Fork, where that campgrounds is probably, we rebuilt it twice and we're not gonna do it again. So where can we rebuild a campground to provide that service to the public? So it would not be in the burned area, but it would be right outside. So for those purposes, we can use funds for, that's just an example of not using it within, the burn scar or but outside of where we can relocate things. Or if there's adjacent habitat that we can thin so that it doesn't, so we continue to save some of that habitat or the vegetation. So that's things that we can look at as well.
Didn't the Forestry Service do the work on Gavilan Canyon? Yeah.
They did.
And that was good.
Yeah, where they laid the trees down and took all the other ones out. So, and that's, I think what she's asking about is, there's two different things really. One is the dead that's still standing, that's going to be fallen. Is there any kind of a plan for that? There is.
There is.
And then, right now, first, I think would be, how do we divert, slow down, take some of the velocity out of that water as it's coming down through the Forestry Service?
We had our Washington office, national stream team come in a couple of weeks ago, and they were actually here for one of the flood events, so they got to see firsthand, some of what we're experiencing here. And they had provided some recommendations, and they're gonna put those forward so that we can, and have models so that everybody can kind of see what they're seeing. We met with the county and one of the commissioners as well to go look at some of the areas. And I know they want to take out some of the sediment that, continues to build up in those areas. However, what we're seeing on our end, especially at the top, like of Cedar Creek, we have some areas that the vegetation is still in the ground, and this is from a hydraulic standpoint, mind you. So a lot of vegetation is in the ground. So when you have that water coming down, and it's all coming from multiple sides, it's not just coming from the mountain, it's coming from even the private residences. But what we're seeing right on our side of our Forest Service land is that vegetation is actually slowing some of that velocity down. So if we remove that, we're just gonna increase the velocity and speed of the water, and it's gonna come.
I'm not talking about any of that, because you can see the green.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about the place that there's nothing. 'Cause I was in a helicopter a couple of weeks ago, and we flew over that area. There's still nothing.
No, and then we have plans. We have plans, long-term plans for how we're gonna treat those areas in the future, so.
Because that's what's happening is it hits there, comes here, so if in your discussions, maybe we could be invited, we could talk about maybe prioritizing that one, triaging it, uno numero uno, so we can slow it down.
Right now, so we're having those discussions, and the other deputy force supervisor, Mark Pentecost, is leading the disaster team. So I'll have him come present when we're
that'd be
ready.
great.
If you guys would be interested in
Oh,
that.
you bet we would. We can have it on the radio show too,
Yes.
just to talk to people, let them know, because they're not understanding why we haven't been able to control the floods and figure it out. It's because we can't get to the land. Even if we did, we didn't have the money. And so those are issues that there's something being worked on. It gives people something to think about.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks a
Thank you
lot,
very much, Amanda.
Thank you,
Thank
Amanda.
you.
Okay. Now we'll move on to reports from municipal officials. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mayor. This last week, I was up in Albuquerque attending the New Mexico Municipal League Municipal Officials Leadership Institute. And boy, that was a lot of knowledge that was given to us through some experts on each presentation. Learned a lot of refreshers. I did learn that on our agenda, we don't have to have public hearing. And I
No.
said, wow, that's new, or public input.
You're right.
Public input, have public hearing and stuff. So I said, oh, that sounds pretty good. I don't want to hear Bill talking anymore, so maybe we could get that off the agenda. No, in all kidding, we appreciate the public input, but a lot of information. I did campaign, or did my part. I know Hooker was doing his part of campaigning on the conference next month. No, all of Ruidoso isn't flooded or burned. It's just a small portion. And by then, we probably won't even see any flooding. But very well programmed, done.
They do a good
program.
job, don't they?
They do an excellent job. And yes, we were receiving kudos from some Tim Johnson and with the EOC and the safety lady. I forgot her name. But anyway, they were just saying.
Rebecca's the clerk.
Oh,
Yeah, Rebecca's the mayor clerk, but.
What's her name? Erica.
Yeah. So they were just impressed with our safety program. I said it's all employees. But it was really good.
Thank you. And you saw Erica on the news, right? She's the whistleblower at the Office of Superintendent of Insurance.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah.
That's all I have.
Okay, Councilor Letterman?
Thank you. First of all, I do want to say to the employees, the hardworking employees, thank you so much for everything that you do. I'm so proud to be a part, to be able to watch you in action. It's just unbelievable, the work that you do, and then something happens and we redo the work. And like the mayor said, you never say a word, you just go back to work. And so law enforcement, fire, Adam, all of your people, roads, sewer, water, thank you so much. And then I would like to say to the people, our residents, and I know that I happen to kind of look at Facebook every once in a while. And, the comments, I get the comments because common sense, government is not common sense. And we are doing everything possible for you to be safe. And, the mayor and the management get a lot of kudos, but they also get a lot of nasty remarks. And I've been a resident of Ruidoso all of my life, 69 years. And I can honestly say that It is my honor to be able to be on this council with these gentlemen and the mayor. I've been on all kinds of committees in my adulthood from Ruidoso, and there has never been a mayor that took so much time and effort to be a part and to work with management and the employees. I've just never, I didn't know the mayor was supposed to do all that. And
I think you're
so,
supposed to talk about it.
so I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. It's an honor, even though it's been a hard honor to work with all of you in this capacity, because this is a hard situation that we're in. Damned if you do, damned if you
And
don't.
it makes COVID look like a vacation.
Ooh, yeah,
We thought COVID was tough.
tell you what. But thank you very much. Appreciate all that all of you do. Thank you.
Thank you. Counselor Eby?
Well, thank you, Mayor. I did go to the Music Under the Mountain Sky a couple times, and also the Ruidoso this last Saturday. And everything's very, very great. Thanks for the Midtown Association for putting that together, and everybody else who worked on it. And they got plans to make that even bigger and better next year. And you do see people make comments as far as, oh, Ruidoso spending money on music and not spending money on fixing things. Well, not all the money. The Midtown Association's putting this on. Money comes out of lodger's tax, and we got to at least maintain a sense of normalcy.
Yep.
And we need to, there are things that people of Ruidoso have come to expect and come to love about the living here, are the different venues, opportunities, and such that they've come to essentially expect. So if you just cut everything out and went to, let's just say, it'll be a dry environment, actually, that I don't think they would especially
Yeah, you
like.
grew up, yeah.
But other than that, I will say that the administration and also the directors and all of the departments from the top to the bottom, and it's all about logistics. You all look at the issue before it actually comes about, because you do know what's coming and you prepare. And it's and a lot of common sense, and also just knowledge that we have in the village to prepare for all of these different events and to place assets. That is really the residents of Ruidoso ought to be very, very grateful and thankful that y'all are here, because it could be a whole lot worse. Now, congratulations to Rifle and to Hooker for going to the Molly.
Yes, very
They do give you a lot of information. The one class that I do remember the most whenever I think of Molly is stay out of jail. That's a very important class. I don't know
It
if you
is
all,
important.
if you all went to that, but stay out of jail. Teaching us what you cannot do and should not do. So I recall that one there. And I'm looking forward to the Xterra. It's very exciting times. And I believe this, not only Xterra, and I want to have hats off to Steve Andrus for sticking with us, staying here.
Yes.
And he did say that they chose to stay here because Ruidoso is bringing forth the resiliency that Xterra represents. They and their athletes, that they're resilient athletes, and that Ruidoso is exemplifying that. And it's going to be great. And the Municipal League Conference is going to be great, so looking forward to that.
Yep.
So thank you, Mayor, and thank you. Oh, one more thing I was going to say. I know I'm going on a lot longer than normal, It's only because my voice is not normal.
I know, but I can hear you better. That's what I was just gonna comment. You may have a sore throat, but I can hear you.
He's got a sexy voice.
Yeah. He'll be doing soap commercials tomorrow.
I think it made my voice go a little bit deeper for some reason. But the phone calls I get anyway, and the people I meet on the street, they almost 99.9% are always in awe and wonder at what the village has been able to do to clean the streets, to get the water back up, to take care of the infrastructure, and so on. So we do hear, well, mostly you hear the bad stuff, the complaints and what you should have done, armchair quarterbacking. But for the most part, I want to tell all of the village employees, thank you, and that the residents of Ruidoso recognize what you do, the hard work you do, the hours that you put in, the double shifts and so on. And they are very, very appreciative. So if you do hear any negatives, I would just let that slide off your back, just like the water. And just hold your head up high because you all are doing a great job. Thank you, Mayor.
And I'll say exactly, for every bad comment I get a dozen people that say something positive to me. So on y'all's behalf, you know, that they are very appreciative. They see the hard work. When you don't even know people are watching, they are. And so they do appreciate everything that you guys do. So it really makes me proud. I mean, I still go to the grocery store. I go everywhere. I don't get in and out very fast. But people come to me and say, I just want to let you know, I don't know who these guys were, but they were doing this, and they were working their tails off. And so that makes me very proud for what you guys do. So, and I appreciate that. Corey, Councilor Corey?
Ron and I met with Joe Coakley a couple weeks ago. Joe gave us a tour of the rack. It appeared to be in good shape and something to think about maybe down the road. Mayor, as you know, I'm a liaison with the Chamber of Commerce, and we're currently struggling with the lack of a building. First National Bank graciously is providing free office space for the current time, but and we're getting inspections. We don't know if the building is salvageable or not. A lot of people don't know, but the building is on village-owned land, and so when it comes time to rebuild, I think we may be pondering possible other locations. The last item I've shared, I've been in contact, obviously, with a lot of residents and businesses in the Upper Canyon. I shared with Ron last night an email from a resident, and I don't expect answers, but I think just to communicate kind of the dilemma some of our citizens are facing. This individual chose to stay in an Airbnb because of pets. They went to seek reimbursement from FEMA. The rules don't allow reimbursement. They said they could possibly look at reimbursement if the owner went to his insurance company and was denied coverage. His insurance agent says, you better not make a claim or they're gonna cancel you. I mean, it's just truly a catch-22 situation. He emailed me this morning. FEMA wanted to inspect his property. He hired an inspector, or FEMA wanted a home inspection done. He hired a home inspector from Roswell. Guy comes down here this morning. They can't get to his house, so it's,
They can't get to his house?
well, because of road cuts on Main
Oh,
Road. So, you know, these are just some of the frustrations. We don't have answers, but we are willing to listen and try to find solutions. And I thank Ron, sent him a heart emoji this morning. That's how much I appreciate him.
That's too bad. I wish we'd known, because I've had several folks call similar stories like that, and we were able to get the individual up to the house by having them come in a different direction. And, you know, they were able to wiggle their way around.
Adam, he said there was a major road cut. There was no way around.
Where was that at? On 400 block?
He
804.
lives on North Loop.
Oh, wow, yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, that's a hard one there.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, and see, things like that somehow if we could see the whole picture sometimes, we could warn people.
Yeah.
But we can't. All right, Mr. Hooker.
I'll tell you, thank you, Mr. Mayor. There's not much I can say without just jabbering, so I'll just say I'm glad to be here. It's a pleasure. The working that goes on is unrecognizable by some, but by others, it's applauded and wanted to be sought after. So, just glad to be here.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that. Okay, appreciate everybody's input, and I'm glad to those that went to the Molly. That's always a big informative thing, and then you develop some relationships with those people that you can call and ask questions, you know. We'll move on to regular items. Item number 1, discussion and possible action on agreement with Able City LLC for comprehensive master planning and economic analysis services award through RFP number 2025-12P in the amount of $384,065.63, including New Mexico GRT. What is the comprehensive master planning and economic analysis, and why are we spending $380,000 on it?
All right, thank you, Mayor, Council. This is technically an update to our comprehensive plan. Comprehensive plan is the sort of baseline document of what the village intends to do when it grows up with that. So it has a timeline horizon for completing all the items that might be included in such a plan of somewhere between 20 to 40 years in there. It also is a compendium of all the other village plans that we have as well, and serves also as a somewhat table of contents for how we're going to get from where we are to where we're going. The last comprehensive plan update was adopted November of 2019. I only have, a 1-year history with the village, but as the mayor mentioned earlier, since that has happened, with the adoption of that plan back in 2019, there's been COVID, there have been the fires, there have been the floods, and so update may or may not be the correct terminology for what we're hoping for, what we're more than hoping for, what we're looking to get from this effort that we are going to be embarking upon with Able City. The council in your budget, you allocated $400,000 for this effort. So with that, the effort that we'll have going forward will include, I'll call sort of those standard types of things that are in a comprehensive plan. The snapshot of where the village is, the going back over where the village has been, and then also putting together the vision for what will become, what the village is looking to be moving forward into the future, and then all those pieces that go into that, from transportation to parks and rec to infrastructure, as parts of those the comprehensive plan update. We're also going to have as part of the effort, a lot of urban design that will go into that, more than just pretty pictures, but also some ideas on how we can maintain the character that the village has, as well as to talk about how to move forward with new development, making sure that it acknowledges that character and keeps the forefront of what the village brand is that makes it a special place in there. Last part I would say also that is enhancement from a standard comprehensive plan is that economic analysis piece. A lot of plans get done without any regard to whether they are feasible, implementable, or hit the mark with economic realities and forecasts. And so that is why we put that into our RFP for the consideration of these firms that responded, for them to be able to say, we will also either with the team, Able City does have some folks on their team that with their firm to do this. They've also brought in another firm, EPS, that is going to also be working with them on I guess testing this in regard to the ideas that we already have in mind for what might be potential economic pillars for the community to build upon. So they will also be providing that information and analysis for us to put some of those ideas to the test as to whether they would make sense and pay off for the village.
How many years ago was it when we did this?
Like that, 19.
It was adopted in 19, so likely it would be, let's go 7 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Alex, clearly you and I presume Able City understand the unique circumstances we have, and arguably this is a very opportune time to be rethinking what we want to be.
Yeah, in fact, that was, thank you, Councilman Corey, that was one of the things that stood out for me, and I believe many of the folks that were on the review team reviewing the proposals, is for me, they really did a lot of legwork, and they get where the village is and seem to have a idea of how they can help the village to coalesce into that vision on where the village wants to be moving toward.
I might have missed it there, but how many public meetings are they going to be planning on?
I don't remember either how many with that. We will work through how many public meetings that we'll have, both in person, also virtually. I would also say virtual, but also asynchronous in a way that people can watch and then respond back to surveys with that. So we're looking forward to working with them on coming up with the exact details on how we are going to get the public involved in this plan, and also to get buy-in and ownership from the public as well, so that this can be a consensus vision that comes about through shared effort.
We had a good turnout.
Yeah, last time.
Yeah, it was very good.
And the comprehensive plan is a roadmap for the village.
Yes, indeed.
Lead us in a direction, and that's what we've been relying on with housing, with a lot of different things to keep moving in those directions, so.
And Mayor and
questions?
Council, did you want to, we have Mario and Victoria, if you want to hear anything from them real quick.
You can ask them Joe's question.
Mario? Hello there.
How are you? How's it going? Good to see everyone. Mayor Crawford. I'd like to see if you could repeat Joe's question.
The counselor wanted to know about how many public outreach meetings you would have.
That's right.
That sounds on our
Well,
fault.
we provide at least 3 large-scale meetings at 3 different points in the progress. But I think what I want to focus on is the fact that we have the centerpiece of our community engagement is a 5-day charrette. We call it charrette, which is a community workshop. We bring our entire team to the village for a week, and we will be asking you what office out of that space for a week, and we invite the public many times to come in a lot of different formats, from evening events to open houses. Somebody can just walk in at leisurely and ask the design team questions, give us suggestions. So it's one big week-long public meeting, if you will, giving everybody an opportunity to come in at whenever it's easiest for them, and to pick a format that works for them. So we'll be meeting with stakeholders and focus groups, and then having several evening public forums during that week that we're there. So that's a very effective way to focus planning with the community all sort of in one place. So everyone's head is in focused for about a week doing it. So we get a lot of work done during that week, and then we go back to our office and start drafting the plan, and then we come back and do a couple more meetings. So hopefully that answers your question. If you want more specifics, we can definitely work with your team and tailor this to what you might want to see that looks different than what we propose. We're definitely flexible, but we like our charrette, week-long charrette. We get to spend a lot of time with you all.
Okay, they get your question kind of answered? Okay.
Mayor, I
Yes, sir.
have a question. Mario, on task G of all the tasks, economic analysis, you have youth sports driven tourism and year-round international tourism destination. Why the focus on the youth and not all age tourism?
If I may, I'll answer that question. So those were included in the RFP. Those specific
okay.
things
Those
were included that way. As we engage in this process a little bit more, we can perhaps tweak those to better fit as we see things as they are developing through the plan process.
Because I agree with Mr. Hall that, if adult recreation activities, tournaments, disc golf, baseball, golf tournaments and stuff like that, that will enhance all age. I just don't want to be prejudiced to the youth, so. Although I support the youth a bunch. Thank you, Alex.
Mayor, I move approval of the agreement with Able City LLC for comprehensive master planning and economic analysis services awarded through RFP 2025-12P in the amount of $384,065.63, including New Mexico gross receipts tax.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please, ma'am.
Counselor Corey?
Aye.
Counselor Hooker?
Aye.
Counselor Salas?
Aye.
Counselor Letterman?
Aye.
Counselor Eby?
Aye.
All right, thank you, Alex.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mayor and
Thank you,
Council.
guys.
Would also like to say thank you to Christy Coker, our purchasing agent, for working this process so well for us.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Nice touch, Alex.
Yes. Item number 2, discussion and possible action on task order number 2024-004P-11 with Souder Miller and Associates for preliminary design, final design, bid services, construction phase, and construction observation services for waterline replacement on Pert Canyon Drive and North Loop Road in the amount of $313,371.59, including New Mexico GRT. Yes, sir.
Mayor, Council, this is under the on-call task order we have with Souder Miller. And this will be to replace the water line that was washed out in the roadway last year on Pert Canyon and armor it, and also the armament of the crossing of the non-existent bridge on the far side of North Loop that keeps getting washed out.
Yep. Any questions?
I'll make a motion.
Well, go ahead.
I make a motion to approve task order 2024-004P-11.
Can you say, try my new lavender soap? He sounds like that guy on that commercial. Okay, we have a motion. Second. Any final crazy discussion? Roll call, please, ma'am.
Counselor Eby?
Aye.
Counselor Letterman?
Aye.
Counselor Salas?
Aye.
Counselor Hooker?
Aye.
Counselor Corey?
Aye.
All right, thank you.
I think he's blushing.
Yeah, I think he is too. It's hard to tell that tan he's got.
You say it first, and I'll try to mimic you.
Okay. Item number 3, discussion and possible action on approval of resolution 2025-28, a resolution authorizing the Village of Ruidoso to apply for Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, grant agreement in the amount of $631,579.00 for an airport master plan update. If we get this grant, can we use it somewhere else?
No, sir.
No. If we get it, we got to use it out there.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mayor and Council, this is the request for the grant proposal for the funds to complete a master plan update. This plan was supposed to be done in the following years. We had switched it so that we could update the master plan this year in alignment with all of the other items that we're doing out at the airport.
Okay. Any other questions?
I move that we accept Resolution 2025-28, a resolution authorizing the Village of Ruidoso to apply for a Federal Aviation Administration grant agreement in the amount of $631,579 for an airport master plan update project.
Second.
Discussion?
Mayor, can I, just one quick item on this. On this funding, the feds are going to pay $600,000. The state's going to pay $28,421. And thanks to the Queen again from State Aviation, our share is going to be $3,158. Just to let you know that.
Hey, I'm glad you brought that up. That's Jane Lucero working hard on our behalf.
She's been a strong advocate.
Yes, so she does a great job for us.
And that's Ron asking Jane for the money.
Oh, I know.
So,
I know how it goes. He always runs it up the flagpole and, yeah, so we appreciate it all.
Thanks, Ron.
Roll call, please, ma'am.
Counselor Letterman?
Aye.
Counselor Eby?
Aye.
Counselor Salas?
Aye.
Counselor Hooker?
Aye.
Counselor Corey?
Aye.
And this is a big win that nobody today is going to say anything about. It's the start of something big out there, to add to the asset that we have that nobody will even comment on but a few. But so many will reap the rewards of this when it's all done in a few years. So item number,
no, I was just going to say, just as an aside, Mayor and Council, we just had a design meeting this morning with the PER group, and they are finishing up those designs of what the new terminal will look like, which will be included in this component. So, and it looks really good.
Yeah. Item number 4, discussion and possible action on task order D with Lochner for Sierra Blanca Regional Airport Master Plan update in the amount of $627,968.56, including New Mexico GRT, contingent upon funding from the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA. Yes, sir?
And Mayor and Council, so this is the task order that would actually allow the work to be done if we do receive the grant for the master plan update.
In Mayor and Council, again, with any type of federal aviation grant, you do the awards first, then you apply for the funds. It's done backwards, but, the funding is 95% from the feds and then the portion from the state and the village. So it's great. It's a great funding source.
Yeah, so it's excellent. Do we have a motion?
I move that we accept task order D with Lochner for Sierra Blanca Regional Airport Master Plan update in the amount of $627,968.56, including New Mexico GRT contingent upon funding from the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA.
Second.
We didn't even get to talk to, look at those little bright, shiny faces up there. Hey, guys.
They can comment now if they like.
Yeah, if you guys wanted to make a comment, you're more than welcome to, but we're eager to get started.
You're on.
Mike, did you have anything?
I think Mike's on mute.
Mayor, council, it's good to see everybody. And again, thank you for, the airport there is you have a great facility. We look at doing all the future improvements with you in the village and helping you get the airport to what your vision is. And thank you again, and everyone. It's good to see everybody being safe. And our thoughts are with everybody there in Ruidoso.
Thank you, guys. Okay, so we're good to go. We already had them.
No, we didn't have.
We have a roll call? Roll call, please, ma'am.
Counselor Letterman?
Aye.
Counselor Hooker?
Aye.
Counselor Eby?
Aye.
Counselor Salas?
Aye.
Counselor Corey?
Thank you, Mike. We're looking forward to it, guys. And so this is a part that we've been working on out at the airport for some time, years before the fire, before any of this. It's finally coming through. And it's going to be a big portion of Ruidoso 2.0. So I'm very confident in that. So we'll head into closed session. We have a couple items. So can I get a motion to move into closed session, please?
Mayor, I move that we go into closed session for discussion of limited personnel matters, 1015 1H2 NMSA 1978, for discussion subject to attorney-client privilege pertaining to threatening or pending litigation in which the Village of Ruidoso is or may become a participant, 1015-1H7 NMSA 1978. Also, discussion of purchase, acquisition, and/or disposal of real property and/or water rights by the Village of Ruidoso, 1015-1H8 NMSA 1978. Any action taken as a result of the closed session will be brought back into open session.
Second.
Hey, discussion? Roll call, please, ma'am.
Counselor Salas?
Aye.
Counselor Eby?
Aye.
Counselor Letterman?
Aye.
Counselor Hooker?
Aye.
Counselor Corey?
All right, we're going to adjourn.